next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports on a Wednesday, continuing our Detroit Lions Media Frenzy Week. We had all great guests this week. If you missed it, you can go watch it. It's on the YouTube today. We got another special guest joining us, Colton Pouncy from The Athletic, to talk about Detroit Lions training camp and the rest of the week. Big week as well. I mean, tomorrow, we got 3 guests tomorrow, 3 guests on Friday. Packed week here, continuing Detroit Lions Media Frenzy. I'm Jeff Iafrate. That's Booner. We got KG, Caleb Zarnik. The crew is here.
Can we get the update on the guests? Because everything's changed a little bit.
So Justin Rogers is out now on Friday. He was going to join today, schedule conflicts, so he's joining us Friday. So tomorrow, on Thursday, we're going to have Jeremy Reisman, John Macroon, and Chef Geach.
Stack lineup.
And then on Friday, we have confirmed Justin Rogers, Maz, and then one more that I'm waiting for the official, but he should be joining as well.
What another stacked lineup. We just stack the lineups up.
So we got plenty of voices being heard here.
Yes.
We've already had Jason Cabinda, Danny Rogers, Dave Burkett, Anthony Bellino. So it's been a great week. And we got more to get to. Sam Laporta news came out today. We'll talk some more training camp. Tigers, what the hell is going on with the Tigers? We'll talk about that. And a lot of Lions today to get into. And also, we are victorious. So me and Booner are feeling good today. I don't know if Neil mentioned it, but I did check my Venmo account, and I did get the $10.
I did not get any money, but I had some deals in place with Bomber and our sales guy, and we're good to go. So I would like to say we did beat Neil and Bomber yesterday. I don't, and I heard, and Neil said I mentioned it on the show this morning. I thought it was a disrespectful way for Neil to mention it the way he did, saying that they won in regulation. And then we ended up winning after.
Correct.
What Neil doesn't mention, if he took, because last week, KG, you're on Big D. Last week, Neil came in and said that they won the match, correct? Just straight up?
He did say that.
Well,
yes.
This week he says they won in regulation. What he fails to mention is last week, Jeff and I also actually won in regulation. So if he was like, we haven't beaten him yet, and he's going to use the we won in regulation this week, we have already got a win last week then. So I don't know how he wants to go about it. It seems like that's more, I don't want to say gutless, spineless, but it seems like hey, I can't accept a defeat. Where me and Jeff for 3 times, we said, hey, you know what, hand up, we accept defeat. Sometimes you gotta lose to be able to step forward and become a winner, and you got to build. Neil, when he loses, he's a sore loser where he can't step up and just say straight up, hey, we lost. Because there was times last night to where we tied the match. It was in extras, and we were like, hey, it's too dark, let's move on. And Neil was the one that was like, no, we got to keep playing. Let's go. So to me, it's just more so, hey, let's tell the people the truth. Let's not, hey, if you're going to lose with some pride. That's how I look at it. Lose with some pride.
Making a good point. And
I
Neil,
don't like that let's get around it thing.
we know how Neil is. I called him famously the walking backdoor cover, and now you see why.
Yeah, I think it's a little, I don't want to, I love Neil. I hate to use this word. It's the spineless thing. Like,
Spineless. Wow. It's crazy.
but it is. It's like, dude, if you're gonna win and you're gonna gloat about it for weeks and you're gonna take the victory lap on us, when you lose, at least with some pride, just be like, they beat us.
Right.
Don't give me an excuse. You lost. Because there were weeks where we won in regulation, and you asked us, Neil. You came to us and said, let's play extra holes so they had a chance to go win, and they come back in the extra holes and win.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to mention that the weeks prior, but today he wants to mention, oh, well, we actually won in regulation. No, that's not how this game works, Neil Rule. It's time to be you hold he holds people consistent or responsible or accountable. Yeah. He does that with the fans. He does it with the team. Maybe hold yourself accountable one time.
I would agree with that. And Booner, you gave him out. What you're going to have to do is you guys are going to have to sweep them. That's the only way you're going to get Neil to just completely confess to his sins and be like, all right, y'all beat me. Y'all got to find a way to sweep both regulation and everything.
We got to do both, yeah.
That's
we do.
way.
They did that to us the first week, so we got to do that to them at some point.
I'm proud of my friends. I'm proud of you guys. I'm very happy.
Thanks, Caleb. I mean, you took down Neil in a putting match, so we
no,
that was straight up.
So now
too.
Crunch Time owns Neil.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
As of right now.
As of now,
I mean, if you look at the recent things that have transpired, I think that's the case.
And then we said, hey, Neil, we're running back Tuesday, right? Like our normal Tuesday night golf. out of town. So he has to sit on that loss for 2 weeks.
The plot thickens.
Yeah. That's like a tough loss before the bye.
Yeah.
And you just have to sit on it.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. If you could, hit the like button on the stream. Helps push it out a little bit.
Might as well.
So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Packed show today. I do want to spend some time on the Tigers because we're going to have a lot of Lions to get into. Don't worry. A lot of the show is about the Lions. But the Tigers, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention.
They got their ass
got
whooped
their ass
last night.
Lost 2 of 3 the last 3 games. So, a little bit of a skid. But the big thing and the big conversation to me, and I know Caleb actually brought up something before the show, and he wanted to get into the contract situation. You had some thoughts on a contract specifically. You were asked last night. You wanted to bring. I'll give you the chance to bring it up, Caleb. So you throw it out there, and we can get into it.
Yeah, I had a friend ask me yesterday, and I guess, maybe shame on me for not thinking it this way as, someone that, talks about the team all the time. But I had someone ask me that doesn't follow baseball that much. Was he like, after watching Framber Valdez absolutely shit the bed last night? He asked me, is Framber Valdez one of the worst Detroit contracts in the past, 15 years?
Jesus.
And kind of looking back at it, again, there's 2 more years left on this deal. And he's only, 15 starts into this contract. And he's had some good outings. But, if you look at it, this guy's making $35 million a year. KG, we talked about it before the show, and I'm sure you'll talk about it a little bit. This was supposed to be the Band-Aid for Skubal, and Framber has not lived up to expectations. Now, in Houston, this is kind of what he was known for. He'd have a couple good starts, then he'd blow up, and that's what he's doing here. But if you're getting paid $35 million, guys, I'm looking at it Josh Smith, that's a bad one. Jordan Zimmerman, that's a bad one. Javi Baez, all-star, but that's a bad one. I can't really think of any other ones. DJ Reed now, but that's not even a big one. I'm trying to think of bad Detroit sports contract.
Jack Flaherty. Did you mention him? Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that is a bad one. But other than that, is Framber one of the worst Detroit sports contracts given out?
He might be. Time? Yeah, I was shocked yesterday, honestly. We were out on the golf course, and I just, I'm like, this Tigers team, man, they're just fighters, right? And then I open my phone, and they're down 6-0 in the second inning.
They're fighters. They got
and
knocked out.
My heart dropped. Jeff was in the cart with me, and I was like, there's just no way this is real.
Oh, it's
real. And it's Valdez, dude. It's just, again, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. You could have the greatest night of all time, and then you could have the worst night of all time. Last night, you got the worst night of all time in a Cubs series where you just need to win 2 games. You need to win 2 or 3. And now tonight, put some pressure on Keider Montero. That's
what it is.
It's tough.
It's the Tigers roller coaster.
I've said it in the back there. What's the record that everyone keeps throwing out there they need to do to finish the year to get?
Everybody keeps saying 84, but I think it's going to float around 86,
think that? Let's
87.
just we have to pick a number because you can keep moving this number. This is what I love about you, Caleb. We just have to pick one number.
Okay, the number I pick is 86.
Let's do 84, what everyone else is doing.
Well, then why do you get to pick a number?
Because everyone's picking this number.
Well, then I get. Okay, let's go in between. We'll go 85.
Let's go 85. What do we need remaining? I would love someone in the chat, give me the record for remaining, because in my mind, you just got to win 2 of 3 games every time. Just go 2-1 and 3.
Oh, it's so easy.
And eventually, by the end of the year, you're going to be at 84, 85.
Well, I think the math on it was 13 games above 500 to finish the season or something like that.
Yeah,
I forgot what Sean brought it up before.
Hold on, I'm going to look in our text. I believe he told me.
I would love that record, because if it's 34 and 26 or something, if you just take the rest of the season in 3 game stretches, right? Just go 2-1 every time.
All right, so
today, you win.
Dude, that's
you're 2-1
every
in this
series.
Yeah, you could do that.
What was it, KG? 30 and 25.
So he had in the group chat 37 and 24 down the stretch, and I'm assuming the number is 85 to get into the postseason.
So 37 and 24. So that means you have to be 13 games over 500. So if you go 2-1 every 3 games,
hold on.
Every 3 games, you're making up 1 game.
You just win 2 out of your 3 games every time.
My brain's working in just a different level right now.
I know, it's the Zach Galifianakis meme.
Yeah. I'm going to start writing numbers down on this notepad that I have. And after, we're going to be like, what's happening?
Which, by the way, a quick promo tonight. Art and Jake's, the boys will be live there to watch the Tigers. Woodward Tigers will be Shelby Township.
It's a must-win. There's a lot of must-wins. I actually heard AJ Hinch actually said it. I think it was post-game last night or sometime in the last 24 hours. They were talking about Skubal, the trade, all that. Obviously, he keeps getting asked that. He brought up a good point, and I think this is good. And it shows the fight that this team has, and why I keep giving them the respect since June 1. Was to his point, once you have the May you did, every single game you play going forward is essentially just a game 7. Like you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
That's
Every
what it
series
is.
is.
And they've done that since
Yeah.
June 1 all the way to July 22nd. It's almost now 2 months of playing Game 7s. And the fact that they've been as good as they have just playing Game 7s, that's like I want to break bread with the people who are like they're not going to do it. Just the fact of like, can we at least put some respect on their name? Because like they could have easily just bowed down and said, we're done with this. Like, this is too much. We're going to trade Scuba. We're going to sell. They're fighting, boys. They are. And last night, I know, take the last night away because we can't do this every time they lose.
Nah,
where
I
we
know, yeah.
all like the pity of it. But, like, dude, they are since June 1.
I just don't know what we fighting for, Booner.
They're fighting, though. Listen, this is my
don't know
issue,
what
though,
we
in
fighting
Detroit. It's like we've had so many bad teams and so many teams that just get pushed out of the playoffs and just they just roll over and lay down.
You're right.
At least we have a team right now that's like I'm giving you guys something.
Yeah,
I respect the hell out of that. I really do.
And to take it back to Kayla's point really quick with Frommberg, just want to point out his numbers for the year. 5-7 win-loss record, 4.57 ERA, 88 strikeouts, and a 1.38 WHIP for Frommberg Valdez this year.
Creeping up towards that 5 ERA.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's my
bad.
God.
And we got some bad contracts here in the chat. Steve Lehman, Trey Flowers.
Yeah,
that was
bad.
a bad contract. Another one, I saw someone say Snacks Harrison. I forgot who said it. I can't find it.
I'm
Yeah, that
going
was
old
another
school
bad
with
one.
this, but Ben Gordon and Charlie.
Oh,
Way
yeah, that's what I brought up yesterday. yeah.
Arguably the worst, but yeah, like
And I loved Ben Gordon for a little
Ben
bit.
Gordon
man.
was cold. I
In-
never
in
liked Charlie V,
Chicago.
but Ben Gordon, I thought that was gonna work.
You don't like Charlie V? I love Charlie.
Man, I
Charlie
couldn't
V
stand
for
Charlie.
3.
It was over when KG called him a cancer patient. It was over after that. It was a wrap.
Yeah, there's some bad ones. The Snacks Harrison one, I guess I didn't really even think
Was
about.
it Snacks productive for us? though?
The run stuffer. That's what he was signed to do.
I thought we traded for him.
I can't
remember.
I can't remember how he got here. I don't. I just know he came from New York, and it was like this guy's Snacks Harrison, one of the best run stuffers in the game. He just decided to not be that when he was in Detroit.
Yeah.
He just decided, I'm going to not stop the run.
A lot of people did that.
The worst ever, though, is Jordan Zimmerman. That's the worst contract ever
Yeah,
in
that's
Detroit
pretty
sports
bad.
history. He was the worst pitcher in the league.
I forgot about George
Yeah.
Zimmerman. Yeah. I blocked
Yeah.
that
By the
out
way,
of my memory.
Jeff passed me before we go to break. He put out, I think he put out an article, and
I hate this, guys.
He did, yeah. But this is the reality of the situation. Warner, go ahead.
I was going to mention the Tarek Subban, but he also did talk about the how many teams are actually still ahead of the
Yeah,
Tigers,
I know.
too.
Did you?
Yeah, and they
But
all
I was
playing
crazy
each other
for pointing
too.
it out.
And
I was crazy.
There's teams ahead of the Tigers, and they're all playing each other as well. And the next stretch of games here. So
He also mentioned that Casey Mize has a 60% chance of getting traded, and my heart dropped because I want Casey Mize in Detroit.
which is the
Told y'all.
same number as Tarek Subban.
It's Tarek Skubal,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
has gone down because I think he's put out articles and he's had like 80%, 90%.
Yeah, and it said 60%.
It's gone down to
Yeah.
60. So yeah, I don't know. We had the conversation on the golf course last night with Neil about it, and like we were talking about like if they do keep Skubal, if they do this, and I think it's just everyone has to say like. The crazy thing about it, we could all have our opinions, right? There's different paths to this thing, and
It
it's
is.
like you have to fit in your mind as a Tigers fan. You have to put yourself in a position if, let's say, here's the one side of if they keep Skubal. All right, what do you want them to do if they do that? Like me and Neil's conversation last night was, if they keep Skubal, it was the same thing I said on the show yesterday. You better go all in, and you better be the best buyers at the deadline somehow in some way. If you are. And if you also keep him, I told Neil this last night, if you also keep him, you better find a way to give Tarek Skubal a contract. That's what you do.
It's the only
You had
route.
all year
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, but if you're going
had
to
the last
decide,
2
if
years.
Scott Harris, if you're going to make that decision, like you can't have it both ways, man. This is like the pushback I gave with Brad Holmes with like, you're going to give all these third-round picks up to go get Isaac Tesla, but then a couple months later you're going to pay Jamison Williams. What?
I
Like
hear
you
you.
can't have it both ways. The Ali McNeil thing, you're going to pay Ali McNeil $100 trillion, and then you're going to go use your first-round asset on another defensive tackle that literally is comp to Ali McNeil. What? Like,
I hear you, but
What is this?
much in the way of Brad Holmes, not comparing them one for one, but much in the way of Brad Holmes, Scott Harris is moving like a man that has nothing but time on his hands. And you see how he's flipping the roster. They are okay with keeping Skubal until the end because you will get a comp pick from that. You hoping and Kevin McGonigal wins Rookie of the Year, you get a comp pick from that. And this is why I said that they will trade Casey Mize, because if you keep Skubal, you're not probably going to commit to Casey Mize long-term, $20+ million a year. So you go ahead, you trade, get as many prospects or assets that you can get from that trade, and then you go into the offseason with 2 comp picks, some prospects, and, maybe the chance to make your team better. It's not the most ideal situation, but that's just how I see it playing out. But Scott Harris, he wants to flip this roster roster. Make no mistake. A lot of these guys are Alavila holdovers and a lot of guys that they have not committed to long term, but the guys that he has committed to, Colt Keith, Kevin McGonigal, who is going to be here for a long time. You're beginning to see the roster flip in his image, and I think he wants to get to that. So I think eventually this is what is going to come with it.
Yeah, I think, too, like when we talk about what return we want for Skubal, and even Mize now at this point, if there's a 60% chance that he's going to get traded, and I brought this up on one of the breaks yesterday, that the farm system in the MLB, after this lockout, let's say the owners win and there's going to be a salary cap, teams' farm systems are never going to be more important than they are next year. Because if you are getting homegrown talent, you're going to have them on team control for 6 years, then I mean, it's just a luxury to have top prospects if this lockout happens and if the owners win. So if you trade Tarik Skubal, yeah, as much as I'd like to have MLB ready bats and MLB ready players, and same for Casey Mize, I think we just bolster the farm system if we trade Tarik Skubal. That's where I'm at with it. And again, that's not me being like a loser, punt the season, but you got to look at the future as well.
You're never a loser. If you choose Planet Fitness, you're a winner. And I'll tell you why. That black card, $24.99. I have it myself, and it's worth every single penny. You got all the amenities that is offered at Planet Fitness, and just trust me. I mean, we were playing golf. I kind of tweaked something in my back. You go to Planet Fitness, they got the massage chair. They got, like, the water-powered massage bed. The hydro massage. It's incredible. And right now, if you have a brother, a son, whoever, a teen, 14 to 19, they can work out in a Planet Fitness for free all summer long, because it's the Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass, and it's live until August 31st. Register online at planetfitness.com. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Join us for the biggest Detroit Tiger game this Wednesday, July 22nd at Art and Jake's in Shelby Township, as we get to see a young star, Kyder Montero, and a Detroit Tiger team continue to dominate the Chicago Cubs.
We're going to be going live at 8:05. Me, Nick, Rogelio Castillo of Tigers Minor League Report. Don't miss it.
Go Tigers!
Finally, life-enhancing LASIK surgery at a price you can afford. Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon, Dr. Yaldo, is offering the most advanced LASIK at just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. Imagine not just being free from contacts and glasses, but actually seeing better without them. This limited 2026 spring offer is thousands less than others charge. Go to YaldoEyeCenter.com for your free evaluation and save.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
All right, this year marks the 15th year anniversary of the Founders Brewing's legendary all-day IPA. The drink that is citrusy, it's crisp and refreshing with the perfectly balanced taste. At 4.7 ABV, it's built to go the entire distance for any game. The Tigers, if you're out on the golf course, the Lions, whatever it is, and right now you can get a $5 short at any Art and Jake's location in Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And with that, as well as always, just drink responsibly.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. More to get to. And the big news that came out yesterday that we weren't able to talk about is Sam Laporta and his health, because per Tim Twentyman, Sam Laporta is expected to be a full go for training camp. Coming off that back injury last year, ended his season early. I know he hasn't gotten a contract yet, but he's kind of in that bucket with all those other guys. He's not a first-round pick, so he's got 4 years, and he's coming up due for an extension. So he is ready to go for training camp. I know people were kind of talking about it like he already was, but we got the official confirmation. Sam Laporta is back for the Detroit Lions this year. And it's very important because Sam last year when he went down, I think he's kind of the underrated part of all the stuff that happened last year. It was a complete disaster. You know, from the defense with injuries and them not playing well to the O-line being bad to, losing some guys throughout the season. And specifically Sam Laporta, because once he went down, they didn't have much in that tight end room. Brock Wright, he came out, got hurt. So after Brock Wright, they had literally nothing left in that tight end room. They didn't really get anything from those tight ends for the rest of the year. So they added Tyler Conklin. We have talked to him before plenty of times, friend of the network, friend of the show. So shout out to him. can't wait to see him in a Lions uniform. But to have Sam Laporta there is big time, man, because as much as you could say Amon-Ra is a safety blanket, Sam Laporta is a safety blanket as well. And I know we're going to probably dive in. We can talk about the contract extension because we were talking a little bit about that before, but just reacting to the news before we get into the contract stuff, I am happy he's back. He's a big part of this offense.
Massive.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think the thing is, too, a lot of people, obviously, with Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running backs in the league, Amon-Ra, one of the best receivers, everyone kind of goes to those guys, and Panay in the offensive line, but a lot of people tend to forget what Laporta is. And, like, last year, I saw a tweet yesterday on Twitter when all this came out. Shout out Kobe. That's his Twitter name. It's not actual Kobe. I just want people to know that. But he tweeted this out. Kobe was not tweeting about Sam Laporta. R.I.P. to a legend.
Right. We know that, Booner.
He said the Lions with Laporta last year in 2025, they were 6-3 and averaged over 31 points per game. In the 8 games without Sam Laporta, they were 3-5 and they averaged 24 points per game. And then even he went further and he said versus all 3 division rivals, with Laporta, they almost averaged 30 points per game. And without Laporta, versus the division rivals, they averaged 17 points per game. It dropped up almost 13 points per game in the division without Sam Laporta. So I think people need to realize just a little bit, obviously Sam Laporta isn't your Jahmyr Gibbs where you're like, this is the most athletic guy on your team. But realistically, he's a massive piece to this offense because without him, it takes another threat away where a team's able to kind of key in more on an Amon-Ra or on a JMO to where you throw Amon-Ra, JMO, Laporta, and Gibbs on the field at the same time, this offense changes drastically. It does. It really does. And that's why I have a hard time being like, yeah, let's just move on Laporta. You can go find a tight end. It's easy to find a tight end somewhere. Yeah, you can go find tight ends. They come out of nowhere or they come from everywhere. We see it all the time in the NFL. But more realistically, top 5 tight ends don't. And a top 3 guy, and you could argue at his best he's a top 3 in the NFL, they don't just come out of anywhere. And you have that in your building right now. So I think this is going to this is going to change the offense drastically if he's healthy for this year. He will. And I said it a couple weeks ago where you laughed at me. You said, Booner, you say everyone's going to have a good year. I think Laporta gets back to that 800-plus yards, 8 to 10 touchdowns this year. He's a threat not only as your safety blanket, but in the red zone. He's a massive threat in the red zone. Massive. And that was something last year that they struggled a little bit with was red zone offense, which with Ben Johnson they were elite at, and third downs as well they were elite at, which last year they weren't as good. So those are 2 things that you're like, hey, you add Sam Laporta back to this offense, your third downs get better and your red zone gets better. To me, guys, those are 2 pretty important things offensively: is scoring the ball in the red zone and converting third downs. I always say my keys to victory. What are they every week? Win the third down battle, win the red zone battle, and win the turnover battle. If you win those 3 things, you're going to win the football game by a mile. It's not going to be close. Mm-hmm. And last year, most of those things they weren't great at without guys like Sam Laporta in the football game.
What I will say about Sam Laporta is he's a great player, and they're going to need him this year because, the tight end room, they need more production out of it. And the way Jared Goff plays quarterback is he likes guys that are safety blankets, right? And plenty of quarterbacks do, but he's not a gunslinger. Jared Goff's a timing-based accuracy. He's very accurate, and he finds guys that are around that are come running through the middle that he could check down to, like Sam Laporta, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and occasionally he'll throw to Jameson Williams. But he does fit the offense perfectly, Sam Laporta. I know Jared Goff loves him, and Jason Cabinda was on the show yesterday and talked about how much they threw at him early on. Ben Johnson did as a rookie, and he handled it so well. And he's a cerebral player. He's very talented. Like even last year in the games he played, 49 targets, 40 catches. So he catches pretty much everything that's thrown his way. The Lions do have to weigh, though, another contract extension, what the future looks like with Sam Laporta, because the highest paid tight ends right now are George Kittle at 19, Trey McBride at 19. I don't think he tops those guys if he were to get an extension, because those 2 guys have put up 1,000-yard years multiple times in a row, or at least multiple times in their career. So I don't think he resets the market. He'll probably fall around Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts got franchise tagged, and he's going to make probably about $17 million, whatever the number is. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. And I'm not sure if they came to an agreement with Kyle Pitts, but he's good. He's the next guy after those guys. You have Isaiah Likely making like 13, so he'll probably be somewhere in that ballpark if you were to give him an extension. But, what do the Lions want to do here? You got Brian Branch that you want to see after he comes off an Achilles. How good does he look? Because he's a big part of this defense. He can play nickel. He can play safety for you. He's versatile. He's the best player in your secondary when healthy. And then you have Sam and Jameer on offense. Now, we've gotten into the Jameer Gibbs conversation. Okay. Got people fired up this week. It was great. And the whole network wants to pay him. So, okay, I'll be the black sheep on that. It's fine. But the other conversation today is, are you giving Sam Laporta an extension? And, this is someone who has battled some injuries. Just a little here and there. He's played, I think, in the majority besides last year. He played in 17 games as a rookie, 16 games the next year. But you could tell he was a little banged up even the year prior to that. So people do ask that question, is health a concern? But to me, tight end, and
that's tough, bro.
it's another position that it is plentiful.
I'm going to
It
be
has been a
consistent.
precedent set for this, by the way. He traded T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Also had a similar trajectory.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
consistent with my and Jeff, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like me and you have had this conversation plenty of times about Sam Laporta. And I actually, in the back, I talked to Braylon, and I brought up that the contracts with Gibbs, Laporta, and he even brought up the same thing that me and you have been saying, I think, for the last year now, even before we came back to Woodward, was with Sam Laporta, like, at some point, guys, Brad Holmes is going to have to use a franchise tag on someone. Has to. Like, you can't have this many contracts and just keep pushing the franchise tag away and being like, oh, we don't need it. You're going to have to. I've been saying that that's going to be Sam Laporta. And I know they want to get a deal done. We keep hearing, like this offseason, we hear the rumors of getting a deal done with Sam Laporta, getting a deal done with Jameer Gibbs, Brian Branch. Like, we keep hearing that.
The franchise
If you
tag is-
pay Sam Laporta, it's $20 million. If you franchise tag him, it's 15.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, but the
it's
AAU,
5.
you can get them cheaper if you were to get them to a deal. But
You're not getting them cheaper than 15.
Yeah, well, I know that. I'm
You're
saying,
doing
yeah,
15.
but-
Like you let him play out this year. You franchise tag him last year. Guess who franchise tagged Kyle Pitts? The Falcons. Guess who they're about to be paying? I know they just extended Kyle Pitts, but for the last year they franchise tagged Kyle Pitts, and then they ended up extending him. Guys, if you need to hold this thing off a year with the Laporta, that like. If you're paying Gibbs, that's I've been down that. That's my path, and it's been my path for the last year. Is that tight end position? You could franchise tag him for a year, and you have him for the next 2 years, and then you could work a contract out after that. But listen, I think he's an important piece. I don't want just to walk away from Sam Laporta or just to trade Sam Laporta. If you're serious about winning a Super Bowl the next 2 years, getting him back healthy this year is a massive piece to that. He changes your offense. He changes your offense almost like if you took the percentage of players on this offense who changes it and who has a massive impact on it. Yeah, you can go Jameer Gibbs 25, Amon-Ra 25, J-Mo here. Sam Laporta is almost up there with those guys. Like it's in the statistics, it's there. They dropped last year almost a touchdown a game without Sam Laporta, and they lost more games than not without Sam Laporta. He's a weapon on that offense. He is. And guess what he does? He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL
No,
now.
he is. He is. I think the franchise tag comes into play, though. Obviously, it counts fully against your cap. So it's something that teams don't want to necessarily do. But usually you franchise tag a player if two things. One, you don't really see a future maybe with that player, and it's like, well, we're not going to be able to extend him, so let's just get him for one more year. It's a shitty thing to do. I understand that, but that's how teams would do it. Or two, you're like, man, we're far off on a number, so we're going to franchise tag him. I think with Sam, I don't think either of those scenarios will happen. If one of them does, it'll be the Lions thinking we can't just pay him, period.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a player that it's like, hey, we're far off from a number, because I just don't think he's not a reset the market guy. He's not. He doesn't deserve it. I mean, the guys that are making 19 have had no doubt more production. I'll just slap the resume of Trey McBride and George Kittle in front of him. What are you going to say? He can't make more than those guys. There's no way. So he's probably under that number, which the Lions, I think, would feel comfortable doing it. So I don't know if they'll franchise. I think the Lions would be comfortable paying him what he would probably expect. It's just if they can do it. That's the question. So as much as franchise tagging is like, it sounds great, I don't think he's a player that if you want to get a deal done, I think they can get a deal done with him. To me, though, I'm going to be consistent with like how I value different positions. Like, I love Sam. I just think tight end is a luxury position. That's what I've been saying for a while. I think it's no doubt he impacts the offense. He's important, but I think him getting hurt was definitely hurt the offense. But I think what hurt them even more is they didn't have anything in that tight end room that can do anything after he got hurt. They didn't have anybody to help or contribute. Like, if you want to go back and use Super Bowl teams as examples, like, yes, there are the Travis Kelce's or, even George Kittle when he was making it with the 49ers. But at the end of the day, like, those guys are 1,000-yard consistent tight ends. Sam Laporta is a really good tight end.
Right.
But, like, last year, the Seahawks had A.J. Barner. Like, the Patriots had Hunter Henry. who is fine.
Yeah, but like
you can get away with
Can you argue that they built those teams? Like for us, it's like there's a significant drop off when Laporta goes down, and it's like no one else on that offense went down.
Well, it's because they didn't have anything in that tight end room. Well, what was Anthony Ferkser? Was their tight end?
Yeah, there was
like
weeks
crazy.
we didn't even know who was going to play tight end for us.
Yeah, Brock Wright got dropped on.
I just in my mind, it's kind of a similar argument with Gibbs. Like Gibbs is a top 5 guy in this league, right? Top 3. So is Laporta. So it's you can replace him, but you're going to replace him probably with a top 15 guy. If you replace Gibbs, it's probably going to be you're not replacing him with another top 5 guy. Like that's where I think people are like, well, you can go get a tight end, and it's again same argument with Gibbs. Yeah, you can replace him. You're going to take a drop. It is.
Yeah.
Like for people who think that you can just go out to the draft and repeat what you did with Laporta and get he's top 5 in the league at his position.
But once again,
AJ Barner's 15th best
my
tight end.
point is, I
the
don't think
Lions have done it though. Like I said, there's
They
a
did
precedent
it once
set.
though. They did it once.
But there is a precedent for it.
If they did it 3 or 4 times and Brad Holmes is like, this is a repeat thing. They
done
did it
it.
one
That's what I'm
time. It's not like a multiple time thing.
But then you can't say they can't.
No,
do
you
that,
can't.
'cause
But
he
again,
has.
you could still be like, well, just because they did it once means they're going to do it again. No,
I guess my
like,
argument is it happens a lot in the NFL where teams are fine, and especially in today's NFL,
Yeah.
tight ends are coming out, man. They're contributing right away.
Yeah, see that I don't disagree with that. Again, it's just the level of tight end. Like I'm just going to sit the president. Like you're not going to find a Sam Laporta in another draft instantly. You're not. The chance of Sam Laporta's at his best when he is healthy, he's a top 5 tight end in the NFL.
For sure.
You are not walking into an NFL draft just because you did it one time and you're gonna be like, hey, Brad can get us a top 5 tight end again. No, like you can draft an AJ Barner. He's gonna be like the 14th or 15th best tight end in the NFL. Which that does help you. And I'm with you. It's a luxury to have a top 5. So that's where we can break Brad. And I'm with you. But again, if you're expecting Brad Holmes to say, hey, we're not going to pay Sam and we're going to go out to that draft and we're just going to draft another top 5 tight end.
It's not about drafting.
It will not happen.
To me, it's about drafting a tight end that can be AJ Barr. Like these tight ends that can be pretty good.
We could break Brett on that.
Like Dallas Goedert was.
That.
Dallas Goedert. What do you look at him as? A top 5? No, but he's solid. And the Eagles have won with him. Like
just wanted the president said that you're not going to get another Sam Laporta.
And my point is
he's not replaceable, but you can get someone a little bit less good as him.
No, you're not making a bad point at all. My point is that because they have set a precedent for that and it has happened, I think that does go kind of into the thinking of whether you want to extend him or not. I mean, it's just one of those tricky things, and I really line him and Brian Branch up in the same category because that's really who it's going to come down to. Are you going to sign Sam Laporta or are you going to sign Brian Branch?
I would do Brian.
I think Brian Branch provides more for you defensively than Sam Laporta does offensively, and I know that's kind of saying a lot. But when you look at it, they can survive without a Sam Laporta. Last year notwithstanding, because the offensive line was bad as well. The offense as a whole just took a shit last year. But I think that you can find a way to live without a Sam Laporta on your roster as opposed to not signing a Brian Branch.
And I'll ask you because this is where we had yesterday with the Gibbs conversation. So the pushback is, well, he's a top 5 running back. You can't just replace that. Now we're having a tight end conversation, and you are saying, well, he's a top 5 tight end, and you can't just replace that. But you're cool with the Gibbs
on both.
stuff.
But I said with Gibbs, this is the thing. You're not, and you know this. We've had the conversation a billion times. I have always said you're not going to fully replace Gibbs. And I said he's generational.
Yeah.
I've been consistent on that to where you can't just go out there tomorrow and draft a Jahmyr Gibbs. You're not going to have a top 15 pick again. That's when you find a Bijan, a Gibbs, those guys. That's a top 15 pick typically. Like that. Those are guys where they're going top 15 and they go out there and produce still. Like you're not going to just get that out of nowhere again with Gibbs. Can you go in the second round and get yourself a
Jonathan Taylor,
Jonathan Taylor, or like a Kenneth Walker? Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be as good as Jahmyr Gibbs.
Alvin Kamara,
It's the
Derrick
same
Henry.
thing. It's the same conversation I have though with Sam Laporta. Is
Josh Jacobs? Sorry.
Yeah, you can get a guy like Sam Laporta in the second round. You have to guys not ever You're not going to be able to just find that just out of nowhere. Some luck comes with it.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? There's only 5 probably tight ends in the NFL that you're like, those are elite level guys. You're not going to walk into next year's draft if you let Laporta go and get a replacement instantly for Laporta. You can get a guy that can give you 500 yards and he's better than Anthony Frisker, but you're not getting a Laporta.
But
and if fans are easy to walk away and be like, yeah, we're going to go get a Laporta like we did with T.J. Hawkinson.
No, and I get what you're saying. I think the argument for me is not that, I'm going to just draft another top 5. My argument is I don't think it's a luxury position and a free position that I don't think you need a top 5 to win.
Does this offense need a 1,000-yard tight end?
No.
I don't know if
and again, that's where I do agree a little bit with, that's why I'm saying we could break bread with that, because the only way I would get around it and to hold it off another year until you go find that tight end is the franchise tag. That's why I've been so stuck on franchise tag the guy.
Yeah.
You guys haven't heard me say give Sam Laporta a bag and throw him out there a 4-year deal at $100 million. I haven't said that. I've been, hey, franchise tag him once. I even told Bray back there, I said, you can franchise tag a guy back-to-back years. If you still haven't found a tight end to replace him in the draft in the second, third, because you should draft a tight end in the next couple years. If you haven't found that yet, guess what you could do again? Oh, boom, 2 years in a row, franchise tag.
Well,
what are you going to do?
The tough part, too, the tough part of this whole thing is, like, we're talking about Gibbs. We're talking about Sam Laporta. Obviously, I talked about Branch already. I want to re-sign Branch. I know I have to see him after the Achilles, but his importance to this defense is you can't measure it. So I want Branch back. The issue is they don't have somebody ready to replace those guys. And I know that's how Brad drafts. He drafts best player available, and I'm not going to question the guy's obviously really good at the draft. So I'm not trying to say, like, oh, you should just force a tight end pick or force a running back pick in prior years because we don't know how he ranked the board. Fine, fair. But the benefit of drafting Jack is they had Jack and they had Anzo. And Anzo was coming up for an extension. And they could say goodbye to Anzo because they had Jack. They don't have a mini Sam behind Sam or another running back behind Jameer. So they're in a tricky situation where you're going, okay, are we gonna Jeff, you're saying we shouldn't pay a running back, but who's here to take over? Fair, but you should have already been planning for this.
It's the same thing with Frank Ragnow.
Yeah, again, it would have been ideal if they took. Ragnow's a great one. Right. If they took a tight end in prior drafts, we were like, this guy's a stud. Yeah. We know if we leave Sam, we'll have somebody here.
Well, they did, James Mitchell.
James Mitchell, they did. But it wasn't like a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, I know. I like bringing him up.
Hear me out. This is you're literally you're making my point, and people are like, oh, you don't need Laporte. Guys, this is my point. Is you have an option if you're Brad Holmes to keep this guy in this building for the next 3 years at $15 million or less. That's a great price for a top 5 tight. That's a steal. You have that option.
Yeah.
If you're Brad, hey, Brad Holmes, I'm talking to you. You can start moving contracts around and you don't have to show every single player love because you drafted them or that you just like them. It's time to start getting a little bit of movement in this thing and get, what's the word I'm looking for? A little like strategic with contracts because you haven't been strategic once yet. You can keep Sam Laporta here and draft tight ends the next 2 years and find Sam Laporta's replacement. Because right now you don't have it, to your point, right? I'm laying out a cheap option for you to keep Sam Laporta here while you go find your new tight end. I'm putting it on the table for you.
It's just not in the track record, man.
Again, it's not in his track record. Do it! Sorry for yelling. People don't like it. Do it! You can't pay everyone. And at what point are we going to finally see that? Because guess what he's going to do this offseason, guys? He's going to pay Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's going to pay Sam Laporta. And you're going to have to move on from Brian Branch. Or you know what you're going to do? We're going to be rolling out there with these top 15 guys in the league and practice squad players, and we're going to be happy about it. And we're going to lose Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So you have to be strategic. Like Howie Roseman, what is he? Strategic. Les Snead, what is he? Strategic. Brad, you get a check. 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 Damn, where's my check? I want a check. You get a check. You get a check. Dude, maybe cut one of those checks in half and throw them down the drain and let a guy walk for once.
Well, it just so happens it's a tough week for, I'm getting a lot of pushback, and rightfully so. Hey, I love pushback with some of my stuff I say. It makes this whole thing fun. That's why I love doing it. But it just so happens that two positions that I do put low on the list just so happen to be massive talking points.
Yep,
tight end and running back. So it's a tough week for your boy because everyone's going to be like, this guy wants to pay nobody. Right. It's like, no, I do want to pay players, especially great players at premium positions. It just so happens, though, that tight end and running back guys, please go look up some of the best running backs, some of the best tight ends, and see where a majority of them are drafted. You can find those two positions. They're everywhere. Yeah, to your point, like Jahmyr's and Bijan's are drafted high, but for every Bijan and Jahmyr, I just listed a couple already. There's a Derrick Henry, an Alvin Kamara, a Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, who just won a Super Bowl, who's a second-round pick. So I'm not saying they're Jahmyr, but I'm saying you can find, like tight ends, Trey McBride, not a first. George Kittle, not a first. Dallas Goedert, not a first. Kyle Pitts, a first. Sam Laporta, not a first. You can find these players. So that's what it just so happens that in the same week, I'm battling.
Both of them, yeah.
I mean, I'm battling here, and I'm trying to be fair because Brian, I would pay. Panay, I would have paid. Amon-Ra, I would have paid. the Lions did decide to pay J-Mo, which makes this thing a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
Not saying it's right or wrong. I listen, I love J-Mo. It's a big part of his offense.
J-Mo.
But paying him makes this Sam Laporta thing more complicated and makes the Jameer thing, for me, a little more complicated because you're putting more money into the offense when your defense stinks, or at least has stunk. So that's where the conversation comes in.
Hey, before we go to break, I just want to hit these two real quick. Crew Daddy gave $2, said let him walk, draft a running back in the first round. I'm guessing he's talking about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, even like, listen,
my
I'm
guess.
not opposed. Like, I think as long as you know what, like, for example, Josh Jacobs was taken late first. I'm not saying first round running backs, like, obviously I'd prefer you don't take one, but if you want to take one in the late first, the Lions are picking at 27 in the next year's draft or whatever, and there's a running back you like, take him.
The Seahawks did it.
But you know, like, all right, we're going to get this guy for 5 years with the fifth-year option, and we'll see what happens then. But you get 5 good years out of whatever running back it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something they need to invest in. Tight end, running back, we'll see.
Last one here, $2. Dexter James said JJ versus Kyler in Modern Warfare 2, 1v1 at Rust. Decide who wins QB1.
I remember when beats were decided at Rust 1v1.
Oh, man.
Rust 1v1
crazy,
bro.
There's the greatest Call of Duty of all time was NW2.
Yeah.
Not even a
oh,
debate.
hands down.
Not even a
And
debate.
you got to do the 1v1 with knives only, because if you do it with guns, that's kind of weak. You got to head up. Like,
yeah, you got to go out there. I used to go crazy on Terminal 2 out there at MW2, man. Shout out. All right. Now I'm getting all nostalgic and shit. All right, let's go to break. We got to hear about our friends from we should double up probably here, right? We just blew past like 2 breaks. Is that fair?
No, I think we just went past one.
We'll double up later.
All right, double up later. We got Thrive then. Tell us about Thrive.
Oh, no.
Or Water Hazard.
Water Hazard.
All right, let me tell you about Water Hazard. You're right. Coming back. Let me
Get
tell you
it
about Water
together,
Hazard.
Jeff.
By the way, Water Hazard, speaking of Art and Jake's tonight, Detroit Tigers watch party with Woodward Tigers at Art and Jake's. You can go grab yourself a can of Founders Water Hazard over at Art and Jake's, but you can get the $5 cans on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I had one at the golf course. Every time I go golfing, I'm looking for a Water Hazard. Look at the can design too. They're awesome. Founders does an amazing job. It's the very first vodka-based cocktail over at Founders, and it's so delicious. So please drink responsibly.
Join us for the biggest Detroit Tiger game this Wednesday, July 22nd at Art and Jake's in Shelby Township, as we get to see a young star, Kyder Montero, and a Detroit Tiger team continue to dominate the Chicago Cubs.
We're going to be going live at 8:05. Me, Nick, Rogelio Castillo of Tigers Minor League Report. Don't miss it.
Go Tigers! You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
I hate to tell you, energy drinks, but you're about to be crushed. Thrive nootropic energy pouches are here to change the game by delivering steady, focused performance in a clean white pouch for a fraction of the cost. And unlike other brands, Thrive comes from an American company that's been leading the way for over 30 years. So stop drinking gut rot energy drinks and why don't you thrive for a change? It's just better.
Has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, it's time to upgrade your game with the Thrive Energy pouches. You see them up on the screen there, packing over 300 milligrams of clean and smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. You get no jitters, no sugar crash, none of that stuff. And you can see they're up there at dipstop.com. You can find them with promo code WSN to get 15% off that entire order, or you can find them at all Market Fresh or Market Square locations. It's Thrive. They just effing work.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Continuing Lions. I know we got into Sam Laporta extension talk. We do got to get into another conversation. And you know what?
Should we play the video around the
fighting,
office?
Jeff, keep fighting.
Do we have that video?
I could get it real quick.
So we had a video we posted on our social media accounts, which you should be following, by the way, at Woodward Sports, at Official CT Sports. And Ryan Lenz, he's the GOAT, man. That guy, he just throws things at us, and we just respond. And yesterday there was a conversation, who is the best quarterback in the NFC North? And, there's a lot of different answers. Not really. Mostly Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Watching back, I was like, damn. People were like, Jeff's rage baiting, Jeff's this, that. So we're going to play the video. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play this video. Who's the best quarterback in the NFC North? Everyone in the chat, drop your quarterback, and I'm assuming we're all going to know who it is. But drop your quarterback. Let's play the video.
Oh, the best quarterback in the NFC North? If you don't say anyone but Jared Goff, you don't know football.
As much as I love Jared Goff, it's Caleb Williams.
Look at the guy who has the most passing yards, the most passing touchdowns the last 3 years in the NFL. The whole league. Jared Goff.
The best quarterback pound for pound in the NFC North, unfortunately, is Jordan Love.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Kyler Murray. Just kidding. It's JG16. The other guys are still unproven in my eyes.
Is our civilian captain, Mr. Jared Goff.
I'm a homer. Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC North. It's not particularly close.
Best quarterback in NFC North, Braylon Edwards style. Let's go. I think it's Jared Goff.
Got to be our guy, JG. The city was chanting his name.
That's the easiest question in the world. It's JG, bro. JG16.
Jared Goff.
When you think of greatness, you think of style. You look at his fingernails, and he maybe has style. But your ass, I'm not going to say Caleb Williams. I'm going to go with my boy, Jared Goff.
Well, it's not the catfish. We know that. Come on, man. It's Jared Goff. Don't make me call Stick. He'll tell you too.
Jared Thomas Goff, husband to Kristen, father to Romy, and he will have this vengeance in this day or the next.
It's Jared Goff.
Look at the stats. It's Jared Goff.
Jared Goff, y'all.
Jared Goff, number 1 in the NFC North.
Jared Goff just edges out everyone else.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Only a couple contrarians.
I think there's only 2, and some reason there's one sitting to the left of me.
Damn, man.
I do not. Hey, listen, I love Easy. Do not claim that one. All right.
Yeah, George Love.
Jordan Love's the worst. He's the third, and
Easy.
It's like,
you my guy, bro. It's time, bro. Enough now. Enough with this Jordan Love shit. It's been years now.
I don't understand, even the Jordan Love conversation, how you there are people that have him as the 10th best quarterback in the NFL. I don't even see that.
No.
There is, I'll say, there's glimpses with Jordan Love. The inconsistencies, it's so glaring.
Well, it's just,
man.
I think he's just, I think there's, it's not even inconsistent. It's how bad, there's it's bad.
Yeah.
when he's bad, he's bad. And then there's glimpses where you're like, wow, this guy's really good. So he's third. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's probably just around outside the top 10. Probably I put him 14 maybe, 13, 14, maybe that around there. But yeah, he's not the best quarterback in the.
The last 2 years he was 13th in the
NFC
NFL
North.
in passing yards and 19th. And I bet if you even went to passing touchdowns, you're still he's just not up there, man.
I don't agree with Caleb. I think that's a better argument than Jordan Love at this point.
I think that Caleb. Before you go, because you're going to give your whole pitch on the Caleb Williams, I think that's fair. Can I give my? Let me just. I'll say this for you with the argument with Caleb, because I got an argument yesterday with Lentz about Caleb Williams, and he's like, well, how is he not? Talent-wise, I'll say this. Talent-wise, I don't think you can argue that Caleb's not the most talented quarterback in the NFC North. Yeah. He has the talent. That's the reason, number 1 overall, all that. But realistically, I'm going off track record. Where have you been the last couple of years? Caleb had some good games last year, and in the playoffs, they won games, right? But realistically, in the playoffs, he had 1 billion turnovers. Yeah. You see these spurts of insane plays that even Jared Goff couldn't make that he makes. So talent-wise, I think you could say Caleb. But if you're looking at right now, 2026, who's the best quarterback in the NFC North? It's Jared, and it's the track record, man. This guy is top in the NFL in passing yards, passing touchdowns, completion percentage, QBR, all of that. And Caleb is he's a little bit behind, and he's only going into year 3, though. So, that's where I think, I told Lentz in the back, I say, in 2 years or in a year or two, even maybe after this year, if Caleb goes out there and he puts up these numbers again and he throws for, let's say, 4, he finally hits that 4,000-yard mark, they're winning again, they put a back-to-back year together with under Ben Johnson's regime and his offense, then I can start having that conversation, is he better, right? But until then, I think you just want to see more. Jared's a 5-time Pro Bowler, and he's put numbers up consistently in his whole career. You have to put some respect on that at some point.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that before you went, because this is all you, man. I'm going to sit back.
I think the best quarterback in the NFC North right now, heading into this season, right now, as we stand, not last year, right now, is Caleb Williams. And the reason why I say that, and you're going to bring up, the argument people are going to bring up is the stats. And I understand. Goff is a pocket passing quarterback. He's accurate. He does a lot of things very well. And I understand why you'd pick that. I just think Caleb Williams is obviously more talented. There's no question. And last year, based on the numbers, he was 7th in passing yards, 6th in passing touchdowns. He only had 7 interceptions. So, statistically, he was really good. I know the completion percentage could be better, and I fully understand that. But the thing I saw with Caleb last year, to be honest with you, and the reason why I'm gonna go with him, is I saw a team in the Bears which defensively were very opportunistic. They got a bunch of turnovers, but they weren't a very good defense. And, they obviously didn't have an Amon-Ra St. Brown, a true number 1 dominant wide receiver like that. And I saw the Bears win a lot of games because of Caleb. There's a reason why he's Superman. I'm not going that corny, but he is. They call him Superman because he wins games for the Bears. He was a big reason they won a lot of those games. Even the clutch time stats last year, the reason why they call him Iceman, he had 6 fourth-quarter comebacks in 5 game-winning drives. So he single-handedly led offensive drives late in games to win. That was a big thing with Matthew when he was with the Lions, and he did it with the Rams. And I understand it, and there's times where he's throwing interceptions. I get that, but they're still great quarterbacks, and he's a gunslinging quarterback. He's trying to make plays for the Bears. He's going to have some interceptions. I understand that. But in the fourth quarter or one-possession games, he logged the 3rd most first downs or touchdowns, completing an insane 135.4 passer rating in overtime. So in clutch moments, he's great. Obviously, the Bears depended on him a lot for a second-year quarterback. And the first year of Ben Johnson's system, I thought he thrived. Now, going into year 2, I think that conversation now is right here. Yeah. And I think Caleb has the nod there. In the system with Ben Johnson, second year now, because he played really well in the first year, I think with how great he is when they need him, because they win games because of him, how much they depend on him, how much is on his shoulders, he is that guy, man. And I'm not just doing the mobile thing. He's mobile, and he can extend plays and make plays, and that obviously helps, but I think he's the better quarterback heading into this year.
And that's kind of what I wanted to ask you, and I'm glad you brought up Ben Johnson, because how much does Ben Johnson maybe factor into the success of Caleb Williams? Because we've seen him with a bad coach, and albeit he was a rookie, didn't really have the best year. A lot to work on, a lot to just look at and say, okay, this kid's not ready. He gets Ben Johnson, and then suddenly things change. So how much credit do you give Ben Johnson in terms of the development of Caleb
I think I'm consistent with it. I think offensive coordinators and offensive coaches, they get a ton of credit. Yeah. I think Mahomes is excellent. Andy Reid deserves a lot of credit. I'm not Matthew Stafford. He's incredible. Sean McVay. Look what happened when he got Sean McVay. So there's no doubt that offensive coaching helps any quarterback. Look at Josh Allen. When Josh Allen got a really good OC, he played extremely well. It helps any quarterback to have a great offensive mind. So Matt LaFleur with Jordan Love. Obviously, Jordan Love's inconsistent, but it helped him a ton. Aaron Rodgers when he was with Matt LaFleur. He had MVP seasons. So, yes, offensive coaching helps quarterbacks. I don't think that's something I would use to knock somebody, though. Because it's because the same people that would go the Ben Johnson route hated when people would say, well, Jared Goff's a Ben Johnson merchant and stuff like that when he was balling and they made runs in the playoffs in the NFC in the 2023 season when they made the NFC Championship game. I'm consistent. I'm not going to crap on a quarterback for having a good offensive coach. I don't. I don't.
You don't want to crap on him, but you do have to. I think put it. You
factor it in, but
have to because with Jared Goff, that's the point where you're like, hey, well, Jared was better with Ben Johnson, and now Caleb that's part of it. And when we're ranking quarterbacks, you're saying who's the best. Caleb does need Ben Johnson. He does. If you threw a different OC in there, he's probably not looking like he did last year or he's going to this year. And I think that's a fact. I don't think that's crazy. But even when Jared left, their offense really didn't take – it took a little step back, but Jared didn't take, the massive step back. He still was putting numbers up.
He had a better statistical season.
Yeah, but Jared Goff's also in year 9.
But that's part of my point, though, with having Jared over Caleb is, I get it, and this is why when you rank the quarterbacks, you take a lot of different things into account. And I think talent-wise, I think you're dumb if you don't say Caleb's more talented. Caleb's mobile, the throws he can make off the run is incredible. We saw that game-winning throw to DJ Moore last year in the playoffs. Jared can't do that stuff, guys. We know that. And that's one of those moments in life and in the NFL and every sport. It's hey, know what you can do, right? Caleb can do that. Jared can't. But Jared's elite at what he can do. And that's why he makes him so good. To where Caleb – he has shown those, right? You've seen those. I haven't seen those for 17 games plus the playoffs. You saw in big spurts last year. But there were times where it was like old Caleb Williams, right? Yeah. Like in the playoffs where he had more turnovers than he had touchdowns. We were sitting there going, yeah, the turnovers were there. The defense bailed them out a lot. Run game was really good last year for them. Like you said, they were top 5 in the NFL in run offense. Like and having Ben Johnson is a massive factor to that, and the offensive line as well that they had. He literally had the offensive lineman of the year on his team help, like Caleb did. Like he did. So like when you look at that, it's like you have to take all that into an account. To where I just want, like, my only pushback with the Caleb stuff, I just want to see it consistently. We've seen 1 year of it. We've seen 9 years of it from Jared Goff. We've seen it. And it's hard just to...
But then why not put Jordan Love over Caleb then? You've seen it more with him.
I've seen more. I've seen more spurts out of Caleb that I like more than
Jordan Love, who's had a...
And I've also seen Jordan Love have more downs consistently than Caleb has. Like, I think Jordan Love's the most inconsistent quarterback in the entire NFL. I've been consistent.
But that's where it's like, well, one guy you're going with like length of resume, then go with Jordan Love over Caleb.
But again, I think like
because it's not about length.
I think like let's say what Caleb did. Who's last a better quarterback?
Right? It plays into it.
What Caleb did last year, and there were the downs last year, even his rookie year. Jordan Love has that every year. That's why, and I think like if I went talent wise, like that's where you have to start getting like the context of all of it, like. And then I kind of switched to talent, right? Because I've seen the downs in Jordan and Caleb that are really bad. All right, who's more talented in my opinion? Caleb. Has the higher ceiling. Caleb. I just go more so off like being good consistently. Jared in the NFC North has been good, more consistent than any quarterback in that division. He has. It's a fact. It is a fact. 2 years ago, were any of these quarterbacks in the MVP conversation in the finals for MVP? Have any of them been in finals for MVP in their career yet?
No.
Jared was 2 years ago. Recently. And if last year if they probably won 3 more games last year and they had a little bit of a defense, guess what? Who's probably in the MVP conversation again with the stats because he had a better statistical year? Yeah. Probably Jared Goff. Yeah. And guess who this year, if they have a good year with the bad schedule and he's probably going to put the numbers up again, guess who's probably going to be in that conversation once again? Jared Goff. And Caleb might get into that conversation this year, Jeff. I'm not going to say he's not. But he's still young. He's going into year 3. The talent's there. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks in this league right now. Just want to see it. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
And we saw it consistently. That's it. I don't think it's crazy to be like, I just want to consistently see it for more than 1 year. Because you can't say for 17 games last year he was like the best Caleb Williams he could be. No. He wasn't. There was downs.
Jared Goff, we can bring that up.
He wasn't either.
Max Brosmer, you want to bring that up?
But he's been good consistently for years, though.
Yeah, but
Caleb has 1 year where he had spurts.
Like the resume thing, I get you have to factor that. I'm not going into the resume. Like Jordan Love, then we're putting him over Caleb.
Yeah.
Like that's irrelevant to me. Like Jordan Love has proven. I'm not even going to defend Jordan Love.
Where do you put Caleb in the NFL?
He's a top 10 quarterback.
Where are you throwing him though?
Because Caleb's top 10 already.
Yeah, he's flirting with that. For sure.
We've had that conversation. Like, are you putting because we had a conversation where Jared was 9 in that executives list, and no one's batted an eye. We were all like, "Yep, good spot." He was above Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
you didn't bat an eye.
No,
but now when we're like best in the NFC North, you're like Caleb.
Because we're talking about Jared Goff and where he would rank, and we're like, yeah, I would. Now, if I'm doing my own quarterback ranking list, it would look different.
Who would you have? Let's hear it.
I mean, I can't come up with the top 10 list on
really
the
more
spot.
so the end with Jared.
I
and
mean,
Caleb.
I would if you want to go, I'll give you like a range. Like Caleb's top 10, probably like 9, maybe Jared's like 10, and then Jordan Love would be like 13, 14, maybe like around there.
I can't put Caleb in the top 10.
He's a top 10 quarterback.
I think I'd throw him at 10 because the executives had him at 10, and I was like, that's fair.
Yeah, I would.
Because if you look at it, there's
right
10,
outside.
and then after that, there's Sam Darnold, which he won a Super Bowl, but talent-wise, I'm taking Caleb. Jaden Daniels, who had a really down year last year.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, who I'm not throwing in the top 10. Brock Purdy, who in a very good system, he's consistent.
You can make the argument.
Good system.
There's only
Baker.
probably the only quarterbacks I would take over Caleb Williams, and I'm being real here, is probably Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Did I say Joe Burrow? Burrow.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, that's 4.
Stafford,
that's 5.
There's a big one. I think there's 2 that you're missing.
Well, help me out.
Justin Herbert.
6.
And you're taking Drake May over him.
7. That's it.
What about
That's
Dak?
a lot of
Nope, I'd take Caleb Williams.
That's 7 guys.
So you
right
have
there.
him as the 8th best
Probably if we're going off
quarterback in the
that,
NFL.
yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I have to come up with. It's hard for me to come up with a spot, but now that I just went through that, yeah, 7.
Yeah.
There's 7 guys.
We got you. But
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I
still
do throw
think
like
it's early.
Drake May had a really good defense, so like I don't know. I kind of throw Caleb Williams in the Drake May conversation. But Drake, the only difference with Drake and Caleb is Drake was the MVP runner-up. Like there was an argument for him to win MVP, so I throw Drake above, and then I would go Jared, and then I'll go Caleb. That would be my kind of little 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, I would take Caleb over Dak.
Oh, well.
Take that. Let's go to break. When we come back, we will get into another conversation revolving around the Detroit Lions at the heavy side. I do want to get into that. Jameson Williams, George Pickens. Let's have the conversation. We got to hear about our friends, Mortgage Pros?
We got Colton coming up, too?
Yeah, we got Colton.
We got Colton.
Yes.
That's on me.
Lions Media Frenzy. Come on now.
Mortgage Pros.
Let me tell you guys about Mortgage Pros, man. If you're looking for a career upgrade, check out Mortgage Pros. They are the #1 mortgage broker to work for in the entire state of Michigan, and we were able at Woodward Sports to see their incredible company culture out at their annual block party. You see on the screen as well, they have 4.9 stars and over 4,000 reviews on Google right now. And if you are looking for a new job, give Mortgage Pros a call in Troy at 248-416-1361. It's Mortgage Pros. Let the pros handle it.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, let me tell you about Buddy's Pizza. They've been celebrating the best Detroit-style pizza in the world for the past 80 years, and you could add some Detroit-style to your next event with Buddy's Catering. The menu is packed with fan favorites, including their award-winning pizza, signature salads, home-style pastas, and more. Save 20% on your next catering order of $200 or more with promo code Woodward20. Visit buddyspizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports, continuing our Detroit Lions Media Frenzy Week, and today we're joined by a good friend of ours, and he's on vacation. He's enjoying his last little bit of vacation before the grind, and he's still joining the fellas. Colton Pouncy from the Athletic, Lions Collective, which comes back today. We'll be talking together later. Colton, we appreciate you, my man. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me on. Anytime, I don't care if I'm on vacation. You give me a call. I'm here for you, Jeff. I got you, guy.
He's a real one, man.
I didn't realize you were on vacation, Colton. That's that's an unbelievable move from you. I appreciate that.
Honestly, I'm just chilling. Like, even if I'm on vacation, I'll just chill in the hotel, do a little bit of sightseeing. I'm kind of a low key guy, but I love the Midwest, love Detroit. But between the heat wave we had a couple weeks ago, the air quality, and the diarrhea lettuce, I had to get away from it.
Yeah,
I'll be back next week.
I mean, they were. I mean, we had KG throwing out poop COVID. I mean, we had all types of things being thrown out there. It was tough, man. And I was still eating the same lunch every day, bro. It was tough. It would lettuce on it. Let me ask you though, Colton. So we got training camp coming up here, and we've been asking everyone this, and I know obviously there's a lot of storylines to kind of pick apart. But if there's one thing that you can say that you're excited to see and kind of get to get more information on with this Lions team, what is that one thing you're looking forward to training camp with?
Yeah, I think it's something I've kind of been pointing at all offseason, but it's that sense of competition, right? Like, Dan really kind of made that point at his end of the season presser, and that, I don't know why, but that just stuck out to me throughout the offseason. I don't know if he thought that they handed out some jobs that, probably should have been handed out, probably should have been a competition in some spots last year. Maybe they just didn't have the bodies, but it really seems like the whole theme of this offseason was we need to create competition, whether that's in the draft, whether that's in free agency. We want guys to be uncomfortable so that when it does come time to suit up in training camp, nobody feels complacent. Nobody feels like, oh, this is my job and, no one's going to come in here and take it. They want people to come in here and shake stuff up. So that's kind of been my read on kind of how they've gone about business this offseason. And, That time's almost here, man. Like, we got a couple weeks until they put on the pads and really go at it. But I'm excited to see it, man, because Dan's fired up about it. All the players are fired up about it. Like, that's kind of what you want to see, I guess, this response from your players. You want them to embrace that challenge and embrace being pushed in ways that they probably haven't been in a few years, since 21, 22, maybe 23.
Yeah, Colton, I want to ask you I want to get your perspective a little bit on, after all this TA stuff kind of goes down, going into camp, what this corner room's going to look like. I feel like we've had a lot of conversations with a bunch of different beat writers and different people about the corner room. I want to get your perspective on it. What are you looking at? Do you think, Roger McCreary is at the nickel? Are we going to see guys move that were supposed to be nickel move outside? What would be your kind of ideal situation post-TA with this outside corner position right now?
Yeah, when they had TA, it kind of looked like the top four at least was solidified between TA and DJ as your starters. And then Rocky Scene and Ennis Rakestraw is probably your 3 and 4. Obviously, TA is not here anymore, and so you got to adjust. And so I think they still like DJ Reed, obviously, but I think they really like Rocky Scene and what he gave them last year. That's why they brought him back. He was kind of a point of emphasis for them. They wanted that veteran, capable starter that can, come in and give you some quality play there. So the fact that he's going to have to be a starter, obviously comes with some risk, right? He's 30 years old. He's been kind of bounced around the league until he found a home here with the Lions. But a guy I'm keeping my eye on is Ennis Rakestraw, because remember that 2024 draft? They went back-to-back at cornerback because they knew that was such a need. And you need to have bodies at this position because you never know what can happen. There are star players in this league at this position that tend to fall off a cliff, like randomly in their careers. So it's such a volatile position. You need to have depth there. Even if you think you're good at 1 and 2, you need to have quality guys behind you. And I really liked Ennis Rakestraw coming out of the draft, not just because he's a Mizzou guy, I got to support my guys, but because he was so physical. He was sticky in coverage. He could tackle. He could hit. He could do just about everything you needed. So I think he made a lot of sense for them. And we'll see if he can actually live up to the hype of a second-round pick. He hasn't been healthy. He's kind of struggled here with injuries and staying on the field, but I think he can be a quality piece if he's able to be out there on the field and participate.
Yeah, we got our guy Caleb, our TD. He keeps throwing up the Ennis Rakestraw with the Ennis
Rakestraw's
Rakestraw
my guy.
symbol, like the Batman in the sky, dude.
Yeah.
Ennis Rakestraw's
Rakestraw's my guy. I don't have it right now. I should have it pulled up. That's my guy.
You have a Mizzou guy on the show, man.
Mizzou guy. Cole, I want to ask you, because it's been a tough week for your boy, because we've gotten into the Gibbs conversation about the running back stuff, and people think I hate running backs. And
you don't pay running backs.
It's been a rough week. And then tight end is another position that I think is a luxury, and it just so happens that 2 positions that need to be paid is running back and tight end. So your boy's been in the fire this week. But I do want to ask you and get your thoughts. You're the voice of reason. Jahmyr Gibbs, and there was some it's the rumor stuff. You know how this works, where people say, well, he might hold out, and it spreads like a wildfire. What do you think about the Jahmyr Gibbs? We'll start with him, his extension, the importance that they need to get this done, and maybe just a timeline, not that but maybe the feelings you get of a timeline with that Gibbs contract.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's kind of taken this long. I mean, when you hear the Lions talk about Gibbs, like, it's clear he's going to be here for a long time. Dan made that pretty clear at owners' meetings. He said he's more than a running back. He's an offensive weapon. I think he was asked a question about Jeremiah Love during owners' meetings, and he just went on and talked about Gibbs and how great he is and how they view him as so much more. And so that, to me, put to rest any rumors about, they're going to drag this out. Do they not want him here long term? Like, when I heard Dan talk about him that way, I'm like, okay, well, he's clearly a guy here. So timeline doesn't really matter to me. I think it's going to get done one way or another. Like, obviously the summer and kind of how they've done these contracts, I guess, in the past, some of them have been done before this time. But I guess for a running back position, the position Jahmyr plays, maybe you just want to take it a little bit into season, see how he performs, but I don't think he has much left to prove. Like, I guess the risk that comes with paying a running back. And if you're okay with that, then lock him up now, So I don't really read too much into the timeline with the contract. I think it's going to get done. I think Laporta's going to get done too. Those are 2 guys that seem to be part of the core and seem to be guys that they've been saving money for over the years. So I think it's just a matter of when, not if.
Can I ask you, I just want to bring this up to kind of next level to that conversation, because we keep having these conversations about, like, the cap space and are they going to be able to pay everyone? And, Brian Branch is coming up. In the future, you're going to maybe see 3 years down the line, Blake Miller, Tate Ratledge, Jeff brought up to me, because I think Tate's going to be really good. How do you think, because the conversation has always been, hey, they're going to have to let go of someone, like someone's going to have to be a casualty and you can't pay everyone. How do you see them going about that? Is it Brian Branch? Do you think they somehow, some way can figure a way out to literally pay every one of these guys and get these guys an extension? Or do you think they're going to have to get a little bit more creative? Because we do keep running, like Jared Goff's cap next year goes up to, $70 million. Is it going to have to be another one of those restructures? How do you see kind of the navigation with all these different ones if they do get Gibbs locked up and Laporta locked up this offseason?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I used to be one of the people that was like, there's no way they can sign like all 7 of these guys, if you want to call it 7, like their first round picks and, the quality guys that they found in later rounds that have become core guys. I used to be able to think like, I don't see a path forward to re-signing all these guys. But the way they've done some of these contracts are just so smart and so creative. They stagger the years, they stagger the cap hits. And even, you might see a 4-year contract. Well, can they get out of it after 3 if that guy's not playing well? There's things like that where it's like, there are outs if you don't want these guys around anymore, or if their play falls off a cliff or something like that. So I think they have smart people in charge. Obviously, Mike Disner, Charlie Atkins, those guys do a great job. Brandon Sosno before him. They know what they're doing, and so I trust them. If they say they want to keep all these guys, I think that they'll find a way to do it. And they've been planning for this day. And they've gotten a lot of these guys locked up. I think they have more they want to get done, obviously, with some of these names here coming up. And I do think there's a path forward to make it happen, but that does leave you a little bit vulnerable when it comes to free agency and things like that. And I know we have this conversation every year, like, why aren't we spending money? Why everyone else is getting better?
Yeah.
They tell you why, and they tell you where they're putting their money. So, if they say they want to keep these guys, I'm going to believe them because they've kept most of them on very good contracts. So if they say they want to get it done, I think they will.
Yeah, I think the big thing with the defense we've talked about on Lions Collective, which will be live tonight, by the way, 6 p.m., so check us out on YouTube. But the big thing we've talked about a lot is, the defense, but really specifically that linebacker position. Anzalone leaves, and they're going to do some tweaking to the defensive scheme. Maybe throw out more nickel with Roger McCreary, and you have, you can kind of move guys around. But at linebacker, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, you expect Malcolm to kind of get maybe more opportunity this year, more run with the loss of Anzalone. But how do you see that linebacker room kind of shaken up in terms of who plays when they need 3 guys and your confidence level? And not Jack, obviously, but the Derek Barneses of the world and maybe Malcolm Rodriguez. Or Jimmy Rolder, if you want to throw him out there. We'll throw him in there, too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Obviously, Shep is a linebacker by trade. He's a former linebackers coach, and now he's DC. So I think everything kind of runs to that position when you look at this defense. But it is interesting because Shep has made it clear, like, hey, I studied some of the top defenses around the league, and I think we should play some more nickel. And that's a thought that I've had since last year. And I'm like, I don't want to call it archaic because there were games where the Lions defense looked really good. And when they had all their guys, like, this defense can work. But I think, with the offseason moves they've made and all the depth they have at the DB position and some of these guys like Roger McCreary and Keith Abney, if you want to find ways to get them on the field, you might have to play more nickel. And if you want to be able to be as multiple as possible as a defense, then that includes getting some of these guys on the field and being able to dictate based on the offense that you're playing that week. And I think that's what Shep really wants. Last year, it was kind of like, this is how we're doing it. We have these guys at linebacker. We're going to use them when we have them. Alex Anzalone was one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. Barnes, they really like him in that Sam role as like this hybrid player. I didn't think he had the best year last year, but they really like him in that spot. And I think he'll obviously get a lot of run there again this year. But they do want to open it up more and say, okay, well, this is the passing league, so we got to get some of these DBs on the field. Now, if you're asking me, when Brian Branch is healthy, I would put him at nickel because I think that he is a linebacker that can play DB. He is a linebacker that can hit and cover, but he just comes in the package of a nickel or safety, if you want to call it that. But I think that Brian Branch, you put him in that spot, and Shep said he's studying some of the top defense in the league. All those defenses have a Brian Branch, a guy that can do it all, and you're putting him close to the line of scrimmage in that situation. So that's what I would do personally. I'm not the DC of the Lions. I'm not telling Shep how to do his job, but I just watched him as a rookie, and I'm like, man, this guy's special at nickel. And you move him to safety, you're kind of taking him away from the action a little bit. So if Chuck Clark and Kirby Joseph can hold it down at safety and you can put Brian Branch at nickel, that would be like something that I think would kind of mirror some of the top defenses around the league. But they got some options. I think that's what they really wanted. They wanted to say, okay, based on this offense, if they're a heavy passing offense, we will throw out this look. If we're playing a heavy run team, then we'll have our 4-3 set with Barnes and Malcolm or Jimmy Rolder if he wants to win that job. and Jack. So I think the idea is just to be able to dictate your defense based on what you're getting from the offense week in, week out on a more regular basis.
And another big topic going in from last year to this year was obviously rebuilding the offensive line, Colton. What are your thoughts going into kind of this camp with that offensive line? Is Blake Miller, do you think, I know there's been like the conversations, Jeff and I go back and forth, is Blake Miller going to be taking those first snaps throughout training camp? What's that going to look like? Christian Mahogany in that left guard battle. Where are you at with all of that and what this offensive line is going to look like going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it last year, for how bad that offensive line was and the injuries they had, and just like they really couldn't get like a solid starting five down together, they were still a top 5 offense, like top 5 in scoring and yards. So if that's like the floor for this group, then like I think you're feeling pretty good about it. Obviously, like nobody wants to miss the playoffs, but they really made that a point of emphasis this offseason to get better players there. They drafted a first-round tackle. The only player they gave a multi-year contract to that wasn't already on this team is an offensive lineman, center in Cade Mays. 3 years, $24 million, 20, maybe 25. But the fact that they went out and addressed that offensive line tells me that they saw this as an issue and they want to get it right. And so you're looking at some of the upgrades. You go from a Graham Glasgow who had a great career. I don't think he's signed anywhere yet, but if this is it for him, like he's obviously, going to be a part of this community for a while, but you had to move on. You had to upgrade there, and they got a younger guy that is still on the rise, still an ascending player, they think, in Cade Mays, and he's great in pass protection. Not as mobile as obviously Frank Ragnow, but you don't really need that from your center at this stage. You just need someone that can keep Jared upright. And to go spend first-round capital on a tackle in a year where everyone said they needed a tackle, some of us were like, the Lions don't really just do what the national media tells them to do. Sometimes they zig when people want them to zag, whatever. They went out and did it, and they addressed the position of need head on in the first round. And Blake Miller is a guy with 4 years of starting experience, like high character, fits them to a T. He was a guy that a lot of us kind of targeted for them early on in that draft process, and they were able to get him, and he looks like a starting right tackle from day one. Now, Larry Bourne might have something to say about that, but I think Blake's going to win that job, and you want him to win that job because he's your first round pick. So I feel good about Panay moving to left. I think that'll help Christian Mahogany, who's playing left guard. If he wins that job, you put him between a capable center like Cade and a quality all-pro tackle in Panay Sewell. I'm not worried about that transition, by the way. You put him between those two dudes, I think you can see his game grow as well. And even if not, you got Ben Barge, Miles Frazier, you got some depth that you've built up. So that's what it's been all about to me, is fixing that offensive line, making sure you have options, and making sure that even though things went wrong last year, like you're still giving yourself a chance to compete again and give yourself a chance at being a top 5 offense again with a better offensive line.
Colton, it's good to talk to you, brother. And I just wanted to ask about training camp in general, because over the offseason, we've heard that Dan Campbell wants to make changes. He's not going to do the joint practices anymore. There's talk of actually playing starters in preseason. My, question to you is, do you think that's the right decision? And how will this training camp and maybe Dan Campbell and the team look different than they have in training camps of the past?
We're going to see, right? Like, I think a lot of people want to see them maybe change things up a little bit. Talking to other beat writers around the league, sometimes I ask, like, how hard does your team, like, go and practice, whether it's training camp or during the season? And a lot of guys are like, oh, they don't even do anything. They barely hit. I'm just like, wow. Yeah. I've only covered one NFL team. So this is all I know, honestly. So, like, I have to, like, rely on that perspective. And, like, when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, are they doing the right thing? But then you hear Dan, and he's so passionate about like needing to get that work in to prepare yourself for season. And you see it in those close crunch time moments where like these guys have been battle tested, whether it's, there's a whole old saying, you want your practice to be harder than the game so you can go out there and perform. It's nothing. I totally get that. And I think you see that in crunch time in some of these close games that the Lions are able to pull out over the years. But, if it's leading to injuries, then you have to take a look. And I don't know if Dan made that correlation, but he's definitely changing things up. So he must have seen something that told him, I got to do something different. So I give him credit. A lot of people think he's this like meathead that's just going to stick to his ways. Like, no, he adapts and he changes along the way. I think this is an example of that. So he didn't really think they were getting much out of joint practice in past years. A lot of fights have broken out. Like, I think that Giants-Lions joint practice, like the first day probably had like a fight every 3 minutes. And I'm like, that's not productive to like that's not the stuff he's talking about when he wants to see these guys get better. That's just like pointless, BS on the field. So he wants to get away from some of that and just keep it more in house. And if that leads to some of these guys getting to work in the preseason, I don't think that's a bad thing. The Chiefs play some of their starters in the preseason. I think Andy Reid's been known to do that. I think Joe Burrow got some reps last year. So obviously some teams around the league do it, and if that's the way that Dan wants to go this year, I give him credit for finding something that wasn't working and trying to fix it.
Hey, we have to ask you, we've asked everyone during this frenzy week, record prediction. I know it's early. We were talking to Danny Rogers yesterday, and she said, this is so early for a record prediction.
Yeah.
So we get it. It's way too early record prediction. And as well as, are they, do you think this team can get to a Super Bowl? What is your prediction in the playoffs as well for this 2026 Lions team?
Well,
July 27th.
You can ask me this now, and then I can tell you there's going to be like a good 5 players that are probably going to be on IR by the time it's
We'll put an asterisk next to it, Colton. We'll put an asterisk next to it. Way too early prediction.
Right. I've said 12-5 all year, or all off season. I think they'll be better than last year, so that's a 3-game improvement. And I don't know if I don't see 15-2 again, but I think like somewhere in the middle of that 9-win season, that 15-win season makes sense for this group and where they are right now. And honestly, like it could mirror that 23 season in a lot of ways, where like you're not the top seed, but like nobody wants to play you when January comes around. And it's what Dan says. We just got to get in the dance and see what happens and shake stuff up. So obviously everyone's already crowning the Rams, and I get it. They got a super team on paper, but there have been a lot of super teams over the years that have not made it to the Super Bowl even. So I'm going to wait a little bit on that one. But yeah, man, I think they got a chance. Like I wouldn't call them the favorites by any means right now, but they've addressed what they need to address with the offensive line, getting some more defensive line help and the secondary help. I know it's not in a great place right now, but they've at least added depth there. The competition element I think is going to be big. Getting an OC like Drew Petzing, even Mike Kafka, who can come in here and add ideas and creativity that they were missing last year. I think they did everything they needed to do. Now it's just like, what group are we going to have available to us when December and January rolls around? That's the big question. It's always been the big question for this group. So if that changes this year and it all comes together, I think you could see like a 2023 like season. You can go on a run and maybe you get to the Super Bowl this time and you make it there. My girl might not like that because I think the Super Bowl is on Valentine's Day this year.
Right. I keep seeing that going around.
Yeah, so we'll see. But
hey, she got to understand, brother. She got to understand.
No, I'm in the
game.
Yeah, we're all battling on that one.
Well, Super Bowl is a Sunday. You could do a February 13th Saturday.
There you go.
Date night.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it's like the Lions got to be in it because that's the best excuse. Like, well, I got to watch the Lions.
If the Lions are in the
exactly.
Super Bowl, no one could say anything.
I got
take my card.
Yeah, dude.
That'll be on the company's dime. Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, they can afford it. They can afford it. Don't worry about it. Colton, we appreciate you. I'll see you later. Lions Collective, 6 p.m. on YouTube. You can check us out. Colton Pouncy, The Athletic. Give him a follow. He's great at what he does. We appreciate you, my guy. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Colton Pouncy. We got to double up here. We got to get to break. We got Icon Auto.
We'll just go Icon Auto right now. We'll double up next break.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Icon Auto.
Icon Auto. We're excited to welcome Icon Auto Repair and Collision to the Woodward Sports family. If you've been in an accident, your vehicle needs repairs, make sure you trust the team at Icon Auto Repair and Collision with 3 convenient Metro Detroit locations, Madison Heights, Shelby Township, and Pontiac. They've got you covered. They offer free car loaners and even offer to pay your deductible. Visit iconauto.com. It's the Icon you can count on.
Neil Rule and Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Supreme Lending, buying a home or refinancing. It's a massive decision, and that's why you go to Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending for the people you trust, and they are the guys you can trust. 99% close-on time rate, 97% customer satisfaction score. All you got to do, mention Woodward Sports, and you'll receive up to $500 off your appraisal. To score the deal, call the numbers, talk to Chad and Chris over at Supreme Lending today. We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. We were joined by Colton Pouncy from The Athletic. We appreciate him continuing Detroit Lions Media Frenzy Week. The next 2 days, we have 6 guests booked.
Can we say this about one of the guests, too? People in the chat are like, keep talking. Maz is our special guest Friday. Jeff said it earlier in the show.
Oh, wait. I thought Maz, we hate Maz.
Well, in the chat, I see they fired Maz. Maz this. But Maz is on the show Friday.
Right.
He'll be joining. We have 3 guests on Friday. Maz is going to be one of the guests. He probably, honestly, will have the longest part. We're getting him, I think it's after 12. I think we're going to try and do like 12:15. He might just be on 12:15 to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like, Maz has been on our show. Maz has gone nowhere. He is here. And he will be on the show Friday. He is actually the very end of Detroit Lions Media Frenzy Week.
He closes
He closes the week out. We know that people love Maz.
He's the closer.
Right. We got to stop this, y'all. We did not kill Maz's media career. Maz is just not in the full-time role anymore.
Yeah.
He
He literally is going to have the longest part of Detroit Lions Media Frenzy Week. He's going to have probably like almost an hour.
Yeah, we love Maz. Well, according to people in the chat, we do not love Maz, but we do love Maz. Believe it or not, he's our guy.
Maz thinks the Lions are winning 16 games, though. I hope you're ready for that.
And we're
I'm excited to hear what he has to
Can't
say.
wait for it. It's Uncle Maz, man. Let's get to this George Pickens J-Mo conversation. So the Heavies had the discussion: is J-Mo the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL?
Oh, this is going to be interesting. So where are people at with this? Like,
the answer is no.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
He's getting up there, though.
He's not. I'll give you 2 wide receiver 2s that are better.
2?
Yes.
You better not say Jordan Addison.
Oh, I know who he's going to say. I already know. Do you want me to guess it, or do you want to say it? Because I know
one is George Pickens, and the other one is
Devontae
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins.
Oh, T. Higgins. Oh, wait, no, he's the 3, I thought.
No, T. Higgins.
Oh.
Would I even throw in? I think it. Maybe not right now, but some GMs I think would have to think about it. Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
he was on that top 10 list.
Yeah, he was. That's actually a really good one. Devontae, yeah. Actually, I don't hate that. People just think Devontae's just an old head that doesn't do anything. But like, if you look at his numbers, even since he's been old,
Devontae's that guy.
Even in Las Vegas, he was putting up numbers in Vegas.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I do. I love J-Mo. He's incredible. But there's just guys that I think are wide receivers that have proven they can handle that kind of. You know, T. Higgins has been behind Jamar Chase, but we know what T. Higgins is. Like, that dude's a 1, an X, a true X on any other team that would have him. George Pickens, another one, a true X. And he balled out last season. I know CD was, but even when CD was playing, it was like he was the alpha. You know, they were going to George Pickens a lot. So, yeah, he balled out. And then Devontae, I'm not going to fight you over Devontae, but he was on the executives, GMs, and scouts put him on that list and did not put J-Mo. So people would say Devontae. I would go J-Mo at this point. But I think unequivocally George Pickens, yes. If we're having that discussion, George Pickens right now is a better player than Jameson Williams.
To be fair, like George Pickens, and Caleb and I got in a George Pickens argument last year, and that was, is George Pickens the top 5, I think it was, or top 6?
Well, Caleb over there
thought he was like the best receiver in the league.
Wait, what?
But yeah, it was crazy. Listen, I'm with you, like George Pickens, like quite frankly, is the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I love J-Mo. I think, and it's hard to be like, hey, well, if you throw J-Mo as a wide receiver 1 somewhere, or if he's kind of the featured wide receiver, it's easy to be like, well, he could do that. Guys, like George Pickens was elite last year.
He was.
Almost 1,500 yards. 1,500. That's insane. That like
for
almost
100.
Yeah, for a 2, almost 100 catches, and he had games without CD. But he played a lot of games with CD Lamb and still put numbers up. So, like, to me, it's an obvious thing. Like, you say George is a wide receiver 2, but, like, on most teams, he's probably a 1. right? Like, that's what it is. But in Dallas, he's a wide receiver. Like, he's labeled as a wide receiver too because they have CeeDee Lamb. They have arguably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL.
It is.
Yeah, and I will say this: like, if you want to push back on Higgins or Devontae, I'm not really gonna. We don't have to get in a battle over that one. I just think the one that I feel pretty good about is George Pickens. Like, I think that one you could probably debate T and Devontae right now, but I just don't think right now, like, George he's in a different conversation, respectfully. Like, I just think he's a guy that people are looking at as, like, as a wide receiver 2, they're debating if he's better than wide receiver 1s, like top guys in the league. Not like the top of the top, but he's up there for sure. Maybe Caleb, when we had the conversation, he's pretty high on your list.
Yeah.
But I can understand maybe why you would feel that way, because he's really freaking good.
Same
as J-Mo, but George has shown as a wide receiver 1 he was really freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, Jameson Williams, obviously we know what he could do with his speed. He has game-breaking speed. But I want to bring up this comment. This was on Easy's tweet, I believe, about J-Mo being the best wide receiver to the league. Easy said he wasn't. He said it was Pickens. But ETN, shout out, he commented on Easy's tweet, and I think this is worded perfectly. He said, you could argue J-Mo is the best wide receiver 2 based on how well he complements his wide receiver 1. However, in a vacuum, Pickens is the better player. So in the Detroit Lions system, where you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who doesn't necessarily stretch the field a ton, Jameson Williams complements him perfectly, which makes him amazing in his role. But do I think Jameson Williams could be a wide receiver 1 somewhere else? No, probably not. He's not as sure-handed as I would like a wide receiver 1, like Pickens is. Pickens has some of the best hands in the entire NFL. Like a guy like T. Higgins also has one of the best hands in the NFL. I think he could be a wide receiver 1. J-Mo is an excellent player, but he is not a better player than George Pickens or T. Higgins, in my opinion.
I think it's one of those things, too, in the Lions kind of realm. It's just, I don't want to say a slappy thing because that could brought up all that, but that's basically what it is. Like, if you're like J-Mo's a hell of no one's saying J-Mo's bad. Like, I think the same thing with J-Mo. If you throw him on a certain specific team in the NFL, he's probably a wide receiver 1 for a majority, some like handful of teams in the NFL. Same with George Pickens. But realistically, like, talent-wise, all around, like, it is George Pickens, and especially like now George Pickens does have the numbers to even back it up even more, and that's where you kind of get into a spot where it's like, it's hard to not say. I don't know. Last year was such a big like moment for George Pickens to where he stepped up when CeeDee went down, and even when CeeDee came back, he was still making plays. The guy, again, almost 1,500 yards. That's insane.
Yeah, but you forgetting the key thing. Dexter James in the chat, Pickens doesn't block. So that, by definition, makes J-Mo better. Nah, I'm talking shit. But I
that
think
stuff is funny.
Yeah, I think y'all cooking. Absolutely. I mean, and J-Mo I think he's in the conversation. I'd be interested to, like, hear where y'all do rank J-Mo in terms of number 2s across the league, because I do think he's
like the second or the third one. If you're talking about number 2 wide receivers,
I would agree with that.
There's a list there. It's probably George Pickens, a T. Higgins, and a Devontae Adams and a J-Mo. Those are the 4, and then it's not close. Like, he's in that category. Like, if you're doing tiers, he's in the top. Like, J-Mo was in the top tier of wide receiver 2s in the NFL. But if you had to rank them, it's just like, hey, George Pickens is up there as of right now.
And I think he has the skill set to be the best wide receiver 2 in the league. But it goes back to my tried and true argument that I've been fighting for years now. Get Jameson Williams more targets. I think in this offense, it does kind of handicap his standing a little bit because he's not getting the ball as much as Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Yes, he does have drops. I don't think the drops, it should be like a big talking point. Because receivers have drops. It's not the biggest thing. And I don't think his have been egregious to this point, but I do feel like he's become a more complete receiver. We just haven't had the benefit of seeing that because he's like a third option in this offense. It's crazy to say that.
And I've been a guy who wants J-Mo. I think J-Mo has a great year this year. Last year I think he can improve his numbers a little bit. I think he's going to be a bigger part, just like he is every single year he's been with the Lions, a bigger and bigger part of the offense. That being said, I can say, hey, George Pickens right now is a better player. I just think, to what you're saying, the hands that George has, and people are going to throw in the chat like he's a quitter. Guys, like wide receiver 1s, like you can nitpick. Like, I remember AB had CTE, and there was still like, that dude's one of the greatest wide receivers I've ever seen, and he's crazy. He was crazy, and you'd still be like, that guy. We're not talking about he's a quitter, so that gives J-Mo the edge, guys.
Yeah,
we're talking just better player here. Like, we're not getting into the nitty gritty of like, well, we can go into J-Mo.
I think it's clear who's the better player.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
I'm not going to be like,
I think it's clear.
Well, George Pickens is a quitter and he's a loser, so therefore he's not. Like, guys, we're talking in a vacuum, who's a better wide receiver?
Yes.
That's the argument.
And it's Pickens right now.
It is. And if you say it's not, then you're probably just and again, I'm the Lion slappy. Typically, that's what it is at that point. Like I could see the difference when sometimes when it's slappy and not being like that's all it is. If you say J-Mo right now, you're just a slappy, and you're always going to agree on the Lion side, and you'll never go against the Detroit Lions or anything. Like this is one of those moments where it's okay to be like, yeah, it's probably George Pickens. The guy was 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards last year. It's probably him.
Yeah, I agree. And KG, to your point, we've actually had this discussion before on Jameis Williams and him getting more targets.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is just like, look, I think Jameis Williams, like I said, I think he's a phenomenal player. The way he plays in this offense is exactly what this Detroit Lions needs, a wide receiver that could stretch the field, and J-Mo is probably the best in the league at stretching the field. Now, where are these other targets going to come from, though? Because we could talk about all these mouths to feed, but think about, like, is he getting his name called on 3rd and 4? No, he's not, because Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta are the two of the most sure-handed players, honestly, in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
So the targets aren't coming there. Yeah, can we throw him a crossing route or two more than we do every single game? Yeah, probably, but I don't see a big target jump for Jameis Williams because that's not his game. He's not a high volume wide receiver. He's a big play wide receiver. Do I think he has the capability of maybe being a high volume wide receiver? Maybe,
they
but the hands issue, the hands are they're not an issue, but it's a thing. Like it's a thing we bring up with Jameis Williams. Yeah. It is a thing. Like he's not sure-handed, so I don't think he's ever going to get that big value.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, Broder. I love you to bro. Me and you are usually on the same side. He said, so the question is, who's the most talented wide receiver or wide receiver 2 in the NFL, not who's the best. And then he follows it up with George Pickens is Anthony Richardson. Broder, that's the dumbest single comment that has ever been commented in Woodward Sports history.
Come on,
Broder.
Anthony
Richardson's lost his job in the NFL. George Pickens averaged more yards per game last year than the Detroit Lions' #1 wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I'm not going to sit here and say he's better than Amon-Ra, but if you want to go statistics, who's the best, who's the most talented, he was the third. He had the 3rd most average yards as a receiver in the NFL, more than your wide receiver 1. The best, like, let's not be ignorant. Let's be honest. That's an ignorant comment, dude. And I love you, Broder. You know that. That's just being a slappy if you want to be all of slappies. At least have a little bit of common sense when it comes to this. Like, dude, he was 3rd or 4th. He had more yards per game than Amon-Ra. More yards per game than Amon-Ra. And we're not even talking about him being a wide receiver 1. We're saying the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL. It's not that crazy, dude. Like, pick your battles. Yeah, this isn't one. This is not one.
And Broder says he's talented. He's arguably the most talented wide receiver in the NFL. He's just a shitty football player.
No, he's not. He was 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards, Broder.
You got to
stop being a slappy.
Let go of his Steelers.
Come on, dude.
I think that's a lot of people just look at the Steelers.
Look at last year, dude. The guy was incredible.
Last year he was.
And I've gotten arguments with Caleb, but Caleb tried to tell me he's top 6 in the NFL. And I argue with him to the. But I'll admit, right, last year he was at least top 10 in the NFL. The guy literally, it was Puka Nacua at 107 yards per game. JSN at 105 yards per game, Jamar Chase at 88, and then it was George freaking Pickens at 84 yards per game. And then if you want to be like, well, he got more targets than James. Guys, he had 137 targets. Amon-Ra had 172. He had 40 less targets than Amon-Ra and averaged more yards per game. Yeah. I'm taking Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra's the 3rd best in the league. I've said that a million. But you can't sit here and just dunk on George Pickens and say he's not actually a good football. Shut up, dude. That's ridiculous, man. We could talk football. We can't do that.
Got Broder hot.
I love Broder, but I mean, dude, like, I'm always on Broder's side when it comes to Lions stuff. That's a ridiculous take.
I'm surprised.
And yeah, I'm yelling, and I'm going to yell about something that's just ignorant like that.
Steve Jr., crunch time during the day is horrible. Booner does nothing but yell, and Jeff always wants to argue.
Good.
Why? You see what?
Yeah,
why can't we yell and why can't we argue?
Weird,
but even like the argument, why?
People are like, don't talk sports. You want us to talk about, like, I don't know, Love Island and just sit here and
Jeff does. Jeff actually wants to talk Love Island.
If you have a wife, you're probably watching Love Island.
Let's get Lentz in here and we'll do a Love Island segment. Jeff and Lentz.
No comment. Let's go to break. What do we got?
we got
definitely watch a little
Mad Packs and Art and Jakes.
All right, let me tell the people about Mad Packs. Brother, I don't know what you're smoking, man. You my guy. That was a little wild, man. But maybe it's the Mad Packs. It could be the Mad Packs. It probably is the Mad Packs. And if you're a fan of Mad Packs, they got some new things in right now. And I'm talking about the gummies for my edible crowd out there. They got the Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and the Hilo 200 milligram live resin gummies, along with the usuals, the Mad Packs, extracts, Blizzard packs, pre-rolls, and flour. All of the great products that they have under the umbrella. So go to getmadpacks.com today. Mad flavor, mad high, Mad Packs.
And let me tell you guys about Art and Jakes. And no, I will not yell for this segment here for Art and Jakes. All of you people, good for you. You don't need to hear me yell. But Woodward Sports, we are heading to Art and Jake's tonight in Shelby Township for the Detroit Tigers watch party. Tonight at 8 p.m., we will be live while the Detroit Tigers take on the Chicago Cubs. You won't miss a single pitch. They have over 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, 1 billion menu items. Not literally, they have 90 plus. You see it on the screen there, not 1 billion. But come party with us, grab a Founders, and watch the Detroit Tigers take down the Cubs. It's Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
I hate to tell you, energy drinks, but you're about to be crushed. Thrive nootropic energy pouches are here to change the game by delivering steady, focused performance in a clean white pouch for a fraction of the cost. And unlike other brands, Thrive comes from an American company that's been leading the way for over 30 years. So stop drinking gut rot energy drinks and why don't you thrive for a change? It's just better.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. 2, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
If you're tired of fumbling those glasses or contacts, and check out our friends over at Yaldo Eye Center, the professionals with 30 years of experience, 100,000 procedures. They are the trusted experts in the LASIK eye surgery they provide. Is completely painless, takes just 8 minutes, and the recovery is so fast. You will be seeing 20/20 the very next day. Take advantage of their summer promotion going on. Just $1,699 per eye, regardless of your prescription. It's a one-time investment that'll save you the hassle of contacts and glasses in the future. Wake up with clear vision. Book your consultation. YaldoEyeCenter.com/1699.
And then, KG, tell us about Loom.
There we go. I will tell the people about Loom Cannabis Company, one of my favorite places that I frequent a lot, and they got some of the new products in. Talking about the Buzz-In Energies, man. The Buzz-In Energy drinks from Loom, 7.5 milligrams of THC, but they've paired that with 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea extract, made with real fruit and no artificial sweeteners. You can try it in peach and raspberry lemonade, and they have it at all 40 locations across the state of Michigan. You can learn more at loom.com, and of course, you still get 30% off your entire order, online or in store. Just use code WSN30 at checkout.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Let's get to these super chats, man.
We've got a lot of them.
Take them away.
Man.
Let's rip through.
Well,
this.
Steve Jr., I think he's the one that was coming at us a little bit.
Oh, was he?
Was that Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gave $10.
Shout out Steve,
He just donated. He just donated $10. Just he said something bad about us. He said, "Hey boys, here's $10. Go get a drink."
Love you, Steve.
Appreciate that, Steve. Jay Wiley 313 said, "GP, George Pickens didn't have a quarterback in Pitt. He got Dak. To me, he is a number one wide receiver. JMO showed me he improved when St. Brown got hurt in Thanksgiving game." This is where I think these conversations, by the way, get a little tacky, is when you say, "Oh, this player is better than this player." People don't take that as like, "Oh, that's fair." They take it as, "Oh, you're saying, oh, JMO's bad.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
JMO's
how
not
it
good.
is, man.
Oh, JMO's it." And it's like, no, dude, like, It's like comparing like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. They're both like really, really damn good. But it's like when you rank them some years, it's who's better, who had a better year. George Pickens is above him right now. He almost had 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns, guys.
And that's
in
okay.
88 yards per or 80-something yards per game. Like, that's incredible. As a number two.
You can say something good about one player and not completely knock another player.
Yeah.
Like, that's possible
That's
to
why
do.
I think Pitt or Lions fans, in their mind, they're like, slappy, slappy, slappy. I got to protect J-Mo at all costs. It's like, dude, no one's saying he's bad. He's literally one of the best wide receiver twos in the NFL.
Well, this next super chat kind of goes exactly what you guys are saying. Shout out Chad for the $4.99.
Shout out.
He says, Lions fans got to be the only fan base that are scared to have confidence in their own team and players in fear of being called a slappy. Shake my head.
No, you can have confidence in your own players. I don't mind arguing. By the way, like, when we talk about Jared Goff, we're consistent. Hey, he's a top 10 quarterback. Hey, this or that. Oh, Amon-Ra, top 5. You can be real with some of the, and we have no issue. You can have, I don't care what your opinion is. You can have any opinion you want.
All right.
But the point of it, you got to argue it. Like, okay, what's your argument for J-Mo over George Pickens? If your argument is, well, George is a quitter, to me, I'm not like, okay, if you want to go with like I just don't like him as a person. Okay, but we're talking just pure like football player. Who's better? And even Broder asked, who would you take if you were starting a football team? I'll take George Pickens. He's a better football player right now.
Yeah.
And it's not by a landslide. It's just like I would take a guy that's better right now. He's better right now. And now if you want to take J-Mo, go ahead. I'm not going to say you're an idiot. I'm not going to discredit what you're saying, but personally, I would go with the better football player right now. And I think that's George Pickens. I think his hands, one of the best, Caleb said it, one of the best hands in the league. No question. The catches he makes are incredible. And yeah, is there things that you don't like about his personality? Sure, but there's a lot of wide receivers that are like that.
Yeah.
People
was hating J-Mo for
most wide receivers are going to be divas.
Yeah.
That just comes with the territory, unfortunately.
I just want to remind the people, Broder said George Pickens is Anthony Richardson.
Well, I think he was saying he quits. He's a quitter. That's what he meant by that.
I forgot Anthony Richardson did that.
Yeah,
Broder
Broder wasn't saying he's the same player, but the quitting thing.
Yeah.
He's a quitter. But
at least he quit with a better stat line than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. He had almost 1,500 yards in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know one good. The quitter thing, I just can't take it. I want to hear, if someone in the chat, and I love you guys in the chat, I want to hear one football reason on why Jameson Williams is better than George Pickens. And you're going to say speed. George Pickens isn't slow. George Pickens is fast. I would put him on the fast category. He has better hands. I would say they're equal in route running. George Pickens might even be a better route runner. George Pickens is better at the 50-50 ball. George Pickens. That being said, George Pickens is probably a better red zone threat. Like he's just a better receiver, and that's not me at all saying that Jameson Williams is a slouch. I think Jameson Williams is a top 14 wide receiver, 15 wide receiver in the NFL. And to Etienne's comment on Twitter that he made on Easy's post, Jameson Williams probably complements his wide receiver 1 better than any wide receiver 2 in the NFL, which makes him very important to this Detroit Lions team. But as a football player, he is not better than George Pickens. George Pickens could be a wide receiver 1 on probably more than half of the teams in the NFL. Like, he's that good. He's a top. I think he's a top 6 or 7 wide receiver in the
and
entire
obviously,
NFL.
Caleb, you're very high on George Pickens. We're not that high on him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm willing to give him the edge right now. That's all we're saying.
My boy Broder fighting for his life in the chat. Fine. In addition to quitting, George Pickens is scared of going over the middle. He's looking for.
Well, they utilize, and I don't know the specifics of the offensive scheme for the Cowboys, but I would assume because he's so good at what he does, they just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe is it because he's like, nah, coach, I ain't
Well,
going over the
it's
middle?
the same thing with J-Mo, where it's like,
Like,
J-Mo's not great at short routes, and people are like, get him in a slant route. It's like when he does, sometimes he drops it. He's not great kind of in those moments. Yeah. But J-Mo is like, he has his strengths.
Yeah.
J-Mo has his strengths in the route tree, and he also has his weaknesses in the route tree.
Yeah.
And if you want to say the same about George Pickens, like, that's where it's like, hey, you're saying that about George. Oh, you can't go over the middle. Like, well, J-Mo also has some weaknesses when it comes to the route tree. Like, Amon-Ra can do anything on the route tree. J-Mo has some moments where you're like, hey, can we get him in that route? And when Lions fans are like, get him in a slant route. All right, you do, drops it. And you're like, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like,
I just feel like
that's
they
the pushback.
shy away. Like, if he does have a drop, I feel like they shy away from it.
But you have to earn that. Like, that's why I always said you have to earn it. So when you do drop it, I can see why. I don't blame you for shying away.
No,
because I would do the same. Like, if I came to you guys for something and you guys keep screwing it up, I'm probably not going to keep going to it. I'm going to shy away from it.
No, but more times than not, he's catching the football. And to me, it's like, I can live with, a drop or two in a short route with J-Mo because his 3rd and 4 catch could instantly be a touchdown. He can flip games with the kind of ability that he has. That's why I kind of get frustrated. Like, yeah, if he does drop a curl route and, you don't go back to it, that's where I kind of get frustrated.
Again,
like,
to be fair, who had the most drops in the NFL season last year? I'm looking at it right now. Who do you guys think?
I mean, I'm assuming we know who it is.
Yeah.
J-Mo.
Yeah.
12.
And
the next highest is 10.
The only issue with J-Mo with that stuff is like J-Mo, it feels like when he does have a game where he's dropping the football, it's a bad.
Yeah.
Like he'll have games where it like kind of it like stacks on top of each other. Where like if he's having drops in one game, he'll have a lot of drops in that game, and then he'll be fine. It's not like he'll drop and then he's back. Like Amon-Ra will drop a football and then the rest of the game he doesn't drop a football. Like those games, I think it was Brown specifically where he had like a drop and then he had like another drop. And that's where I'm with you. I can see why the line's like, all right, like if this is going to just kind of
it's hard to keep going at it.
Unfortunately, kind of,
especially when you lead the league in drops as a wide receiver, like it's hard to be like, hey, let's keep trusting you and doing it.
It's not like every game he's dropping the ball. It's just the games where he does. It's
and
like
to me, the risk versus reward is far greater because, like I said, he can flip a game in a fucking instant if he gets open space.
Do we like people in the chat are still bringing like, Broder? Oh, he constantly pouts, nitty gritty. He's a cancer. Like, guys, when we talk about who's the best at X position, whether it's wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, tight end, whatever it is, do we take into account a guy pouting or a guy's the locker room can't? We usually don't. The only time that I've done it was a genuine like A.J. Brown, but I didn't have A.J. Brown outside the top 10. It was 2 years ago. Do you remember this conversation? Mm-hmm. When it was who's a better wide receiver, Amon-Ra and A.J. Brown. I thought they both were equally as good, and you could argue Amon-Ra was better. I just said, hey, I'm not dealing with A.J. Brown. That's like the only other time I've ever even had that thought.
Yeah.
But I still had A.J. Brown in the top 6 at that time. It wasn't even like I was like, oh, no, I want to. You still have to have George Pickens in the top 10 after what he did last year.
You do.
And if you want to lower him in the top 10, or you want to maybe put him behind, I don't know, another like 9, 10, 11, okay. But we're dropping him behind J-Mo, Devontae. People are saying, oh, I don't want him at. God, what?
Yeah.
That's ignorant.
They looking at his Steelers tenure.
Yeah, and again, I respect it. If you want to take into account that he was a quitter or that stuff, okay, fine. That's your argument. That's okay. But the way we're setting up the conversation today, it seems like most of us are talking about just
on the field.
On the field,
yes.
That will go with Pickens. If your argument's off the field, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and argue back because I get it. I understand. J-Mo, I'd rather have in my locker room. I'm not going to push back on that too much. We got to go to break. What do we got, Caleb?
KG, tell us about Amnesia.
All right, let me tell the people about Amnesia, and they got a new product called the Switch. It's a 2-gram dual-chamber disposable featuring liquid diamonds, man. Who don't like smoking liquid diamonds? But with 2 chambers and 2 different flavor profiles, you can enjoy the left, you can enjoy the right, or bring them both together for a great combo in the middle. But discover your new favorite with the Switch by Amnesia.
Join us for the biggest Detroit Tiger game this Wednesday, July 22nd at Art and Jake's in Shelby Township, as we get to see a young star, Kyder Montero, and a Detroit Tiger team continue to dominate the Chicago Cubs.
We're going to be going live at 8:05. Me, Nick, Rogelio Castillo of Tigers Minor League Report. Don't miss it.
Go Tigers!
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in? Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Gold Crown is back, and they are dropping the Royal Jesters. These aren't just your average pre-rolls, the big boys, 1.5 grams each, and they are quad infused, which means Keef coated, live resin infused, THCA, diamonds, and terpenes, all packed into one big, beautiful joint. 4 layers of you are good after this, and you can get the Gold Crown Royal Jesters pretty much anywhere. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think just ask for the Royal Jesters, because y'all know the slogan. If you're gonna smoke, smoke like royalty. My bad.
You're good. You're good. If you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, Massage Share House in Bloomfield Hills is the place to be. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage share reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagesharehouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Share House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports.
I love the chat, man.
Yeah, the chat.
Something else, huh?
We got you guys fired. Now, can we kumbaya? Like, we've had a lot of intense, some touchy debates about some sensitive subjects. It's all kumbaya. All right, we're back. It's Mailbag. We love you guys. We appreciate you so much for tuning in. So drop those mailbag questions.
People get heat.
Whether
it's
it's Jameer Gibbs' conversation, I was getting flamed for. Apparently, I just like to argue.
I like to yell.
I've never been told that before.
Y'all can't win, bro.
Sam Laporto or the JMO conversation. Kumbaya. All right.
Anytime there's a disagreement, man, there's people in the chat that are like, you're the worst person on the planet. Yeah. It's like, dude, come on. That's why sometimes I hate, like, can we just have a disagreement in life and be cool with it? That'd be pretty sick.
So drop those mailbag questions. I do want to read Jesse's. He did ask. Steve-O actually said, mailbag Booner, do you consider Justin Jefferson
Is this a setup? I don't know, because I feel like this is obvious. Is he trying to set me up for something?
Well, if you want to go with, like, this is the thing about, I don't look at wide receivers as, like, winners, because, like, Justin Jefferson, they haven't won anything.
He's the most, great. Honestly, Justin Jefferson's the most talented wide receiver in the NFL. Him and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And they haven't won.
That's why for the last 6 years, everyone's had him on. Puka's there too, but like when we talk to Kelvin about it, Kelvin instantly, Justin and Jamar.
Yeah.
Like anyone you ask, it's like right now it's Justin and Jamar. Take numbers away, take winning away, take everything. Talent-wise, it's Justin and Jamar. And then you can get into the Puka, and then Amon-Ra, and then JSN. Like then it gets to that. But those two are, it's those two right now. When they're healthy and at their best, it's those two.
Jesse says on mailbag, if when you guys go to camp, besides interior O-line and DBs, what will you guys be looking at? We'll have a topic on that, actually. We'll have a topic on that, so we're not going to say that now, but we will talk about that. KG, don't you think Booner will be bumping McAfee's new album in his whip?
Yeah, I can see it.
No, probably not. I'm a McAfee guy, dude. I love Pat McAfee, but I'm not bumping. I probably won't listen to it unless there's actually a good song, which I don't know.
He's dropping an album.
Yeah, he's dropped a bunch. He's dropped a bunch of songs. He's always done stuff like that. I think it's just more so just content creator type thing.
What is that shit, dude?
I don't listen, Caleb. You hate a lot of things. I don't care, dude. I just let them. When people do stuff like that, let people have fun. That's his hobby. Let him have a hobby.
I just don't think. I mean, what is the point of him making an album?
Because it's fun.
Because he's rich.
He enjoys like making. I think he's made music since he was in like West Virginia.
Okay.
I think it's just something like a side hobby for him. And you're just out here pooping on people's side hobbies.
Yeah, I'm pooping on I don't think he cares what
do
I
you
have
like
to
to do outside of
$70
sports?
billion.
Just because you have money doesn't mean you can't do something for fun.
No, I'm saying I don't care. I don't think he cares what I have to say about him. I just don't think.
This is me. I've come full circle because the Jaylen Brown and streaming. I've had a resurgence.
No,
people just do what they want, dude.
No more shut up and dribble, huh?
No more.
Jeff was on the
Can
shut
we
up
be
and
fair?
dribble
If I were to say shut up and dribble to anybody, I do fit the description. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you do.
I do fit the button-up white guy telling people to shut up and dribble. No, I do. They do whatever the hell they want, man. Hey, do your thing. Right. ETN, I think he's asked this before, but it is a funny thing to always talk about. Who is the most frustrating person to argue with at Woodward Sports?
Neil.
Neil
or Stick. It's
Neil or easy to me. Because Neil, at least with Neil, you can get to a point to where, like, okay, he'll sit there off camera and he'll be like, okay, I understand what you're saying. You might disagree, but off camera, Neil does. He'll be like, okay, I get your point. On camera, he'll never do it. But easy on or off camera, you could put dude, I could put like the biggest fact in his face, and he'll be like, no, and he like. there's no winning with
I mean,
him.
I don't know. At least Easy be having this stuff. Neil is a lot of talking points, and Stick is just like, he's relentless, bro. Like, Stick will argue you to the ground for no reason at all over the simplest shit.
Is it good if you get put in that conversation? Because I've heard people say my name.
I mean, you up there for sure.
But I don't think I'm like
you top 5.
If I'm wrong, though.
Yeah, I would put you like 1, 2, or 3.
Fair.
But
I will, though,
5.
and Jeff, I think we've had this. I think, though, if I realize, oh, no, I'm wrong, I will be like, okay, that's fully on me. But if I believe it, I will go as hard as I can to prove the point.
I'm waiting for that on the Tigers, by the way, at the end of the year. But
I will be like, hand up on me if they don't make the playoffs.
I will say a sleeper that you mentioned, Stick. Love Stick.
I think
my brother.
He's up there. He
is up there. I've had debates with Stick about a lot of things, and he'll look you in the eye after you just spiel out a bunch of facts, and he'll be like, and he'll just reiterate what he just said.
I swear,
he will not
bro.
listen. It's
frustrating to argue with him.
He's rage baiting a little bit.
It's honestly ironic that this question gets asked now, because we just talked about the Pickens JMO thing. I think the only time I've been legitimately personally mad, actually we had 2, Booner, where it was, the one was Tobias Harris against Karl Anthony Towns. Do you remember that in the playoffs? We argued in the group chat for probably 2 days straight about it. Do you remember that one?
Kind of. And I don't remember even what the argument was fully.
That one, because I said Tobias did a nice job on Cat.
Oh, and Cat was like cooking?
No, he wasn't
remember
cooking.
that?
No, we don't need to get back to it again. We don't need to get back
Tobias
to it.
couldn't box him out.
And the watch party we did, Lions-Cowboys, that might have been the only time I've argued
That was the George Pickens
sports.
thing, wasn't it?
That was the only time I've been personally like, dude, I can't fucking even be in the same room as this guy. Was that argument
Well,
right
to
there
be fair, it got to that point, too, because I was right, because George Pickens... That was when George Pickens crashed out and went on the sideline, and you were trying to tell me he was better than CeeDee Lamb. And then we were sitting there on the live watch party and watching George Pickens fully just break down.
Yeah.
And I was that's a perfect time. Like, I'm victory lapping that. We're live on air and it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do? Be like, oh, I'll pat you on the back. It's all right, bud.
No. I mean, I was so fucking pissed off, dude. I think we argued about it before, even before that happened. And then I watched George Pickens do that. I was like, dude, are you kidding me, Pickens? Like, the one time I need you.
By the way, too, Broder in the chat said, Booner, love you, brother. We're allowed to disagree and hug after that. Yeah, listen, I love you, brother. This is what people, I think, in the chat and fans need to realize. We can have disagreements without being like, this guy sucks, this guy screams, this guy's the worst. Have disagreements, we'll yell back and forth, and then after we'll be like, oh, that was a fun time. That's why I love doing what we do.
Let's get out of here. We appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, we'll be joined by 3 more guests, and then Friday, 3 more guests. So we got a stacked lineup here on Crunch Time. Hit the like button on the stream on your way out. We appreciate you. Get your merchandise also, by the way. Throw this out. Official CG Sports, WoodwardSports.com coming out with merch as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited, man.
I need a Crunch Time shirt, man.
We'll get one for you.
Done.
Shirt, hat, sweatshirt. We'll get it all for you.
Drip me down.
We got to get KG some crunch, like a gift bag of crunch.
Yeah, man, drip me down, bro.
Man, KG was eating some hash browns, man. Them smelled so I couldn't get out. Now I'm hungry. Now.
Corned beef hash.
I can't wait to get my lunch, man. Let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Until then, peace.
Guys, bye.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.